Michigan State, it could be a season maker. For Mike Hart and the Michigan seniors, a chance to sweep their in-state rivals. It's Michigan State and Michigan. Battle number 100 for state bragging rights in one of college football's top rivalries coming up. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC is presented by Best Buy, and it is the number 12 team in the country, the Michigan Wolverines, against the Spartans of Michigan State. Perfect day for football in East Lansing. We'll see who's going to come out on top when we come back. In East Lansing, we get set for Michigan State for the 100th time. Ohio State's in the finishing touches on Wisconsin, a perfect 10 now, and they're atop the conference. But Michigan can join them and maybe set up the big battle November 17th between those two one more time. The Spartans of Michigan State come into this one 5-4, 1-4 in conference play, but they have really lost some heartbreakers, including 2 in overtime. They won the toss, and they want the football first. Wolverines, after their 0-2 start, have run off 7 straights, 5-0 in the conference. There's Chad Henne. He and Mike Hart and the rest of those seniors can make it a clean sweep over their in-state rivals if they can win in front of this packed house in East Lansing today. With Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, and Bonnie Bernstein, I'm Brad Nussler, and we're just about set for something that started back in 1898. Now it is matchup number 100 between these two teams. And Michigan has won 5 straight in the series. And since 1953, they've been playing for the Paul Bunyan Trophy as Devin Thomas and A.J. Jimerson are back deep awaiting the kickoff from the Wolverines. And here we go. Right at the goal line is Devin Thomas, one of the best in college football in kick returns, and he gets out to about the 25-yard line as we check in with the 4th member of our team, Bonnie Bernstein. Bonnie?
Well, Brad, after last week's gut-wrenching loss to Iowa, this rivalry game is exactly what State needed. Instead of taking Sunday off, they practiced. Brian Hoyer watched extra film all week. Mark D'Antonio even donned the Sparty mascot head one day to add a little extra motivation. D'Antonio asked this question publicly this week. What do we have to do to stop bowing to Michigan? And his players have taken that question to heart, said Caleb Thornhill. If we win this game, we will change the way Michigan looks at us.
And Michigan State had a great start to the season, but as I mentioned, 4 losses, 2 of them in overtime. On the first play of the game, a great ground attack that Paul talked about gets about 2 yards. We talked with quarterback Brian Hoyer about what they hope to set the pace with here early in the ball game.
Be physical and have high intensity and let them know that we're here to play. And I think it all starts with our guys up front. They've done a great job all year. So I think if we can get off the ball and be physical and, really run the ball, it's going to set up things for the whole game.
Well, a 2nd down and 8 for the Spartans. And it's the end around coming with Kellen Davis, the big tight end, as he got across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. And quarterback Brian Hoyer is going to check our Best Buy starting lineup for the Spartans.
In the backfield, we got Thunder and Lightning, J.U. Kalkrick and Javon Ringer. At receiver, Devin Thomas, Showtime. At the offensive line, we got 3 seniors, John Masters, Kenny Shane, and Pete Clifford.
And, of course, none of those guys have ever beaten Michigan. That's what they're hoping to do today. Here's our opening 3rd down of the ball game, 3rd down and 4. And it's Hoyer in the shotgun. His first pass is caught by Davis. First down all the way out to midfield. He tipped it to himself, the old tip drill, Grease, right to his own body.
And it's an important catch by Davis just because it's the first drive of the ball game. And on the first drive, you want to pick up a first down. Stay on the field. He throws an excellent pass, throwing it away from the defender, the only place he could put it. Tips it back to himself. He had to throw it away from the defense.
Picked up 17 yards on that 3rd and 4.
That's the thing I like about Hoyer. Not many interceptions. He makes plays, but he doesn't turn it over. 2
tight ends set right now with Kalkrick, the big guy, and at tailback. And here's J.U., his first carry, and it nets 2 or 3. Brandon Engelman will set the Best Buy starting defense for the Wolverines.
At D-line, we have J-Mo and Triple T Taylor. At linebacker, we have Crave and Brick. And in the defensive backfield, we have Moti and Jam 22, and myself, Brandon Engelman, Covington, Kentucky.
At 5'11", 206, he's the only one he gives his whole name to for his mom, probably, huh?
Yeah.
Everybody else's nicknames.
That's good. I like that.
Ringer back in there from Michigan State. Quick pass, that's a lateral. And it's going to pick up good yardage and maybe a first down. I think he's got it inside the 40 at the 39.
Yes, this is a play where Ringer really shows you not only he has excellent speed, but he also has power. He only weighs 200 pounds. He's 5'9", but he knows what to do when he gets the ball in space, and that's where they want to get it to him.
And the other thing he shows you, he can catch. That's his 29th reception on the year.
But no TDs receiving. That's hard to believe.
That is not a reception. Well, it's a reception, but it's a run.
Exactly.
It's a lateral.
Exactly.
And a first down at the 39. Hoyer, play action. Here comes the heat. Throws, got a man. Down at the 22-yard line, it's Devin Thomas. Thomas working over there on Morgan Trent, and another 17-yard pickup.
Had man coverage, single coverage out there on Trent. And Devin Thomas, who is an outstanding receiver, just going to go down, break to the inside, and then back to the corner. And the ball is going to get there in good time. That's just good play calling.
So a great-looking drive on the opening march for the Spartans at the Wolverine 21-yard line. Davis, the tight end, on the move. Colquitt will follow him into the hole. And inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. Let's check in for the first time this afternoon. Matt Weiner in New York. Matt.
Back in New York, I'm Matt Weiner, keeping you current on everything happening across the country. The #1 team in the country can just sit back and watch, and this Taco Bell update from Columbus. Ohio State breaks open a close game with Wisconsin. Chris Wells, 31 yards here, 3 touchdowns on the day. Look at the rushing yardage. They sacked Tyler Donovan 10 times today.
Beanie Wells running like a madman the last couple of weeks. Hoyer back to throw to the end zone. Had his man, Kellen Davis, and he got it too far in front of him.
Boy, I'll tell you, Kellen Davis was so open, and you know all you have to do is just throw it up in the air.
You can thank Jamison, because he was putting the pressure on Hoyer, and he didn't have any time more to wait. If he could have waited a little bit longer, I think he would have had a touchdown.
Of course, Brian bided his time for 2 years as Drew Stanton's back up. And now 5-3 in his first year as a full-time starter. A junior out of North Homestead, Ohio. Big play here on 3rd down and 7. Michigan trying to slow down the Spartans on their opening drive. 9th play of the drive is coming up. 3 wideouts, Thomas in motion. And the whistles blow to end that play before it got underway.
Number 7 offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Now they're going to really have to earn it.
There's another one that they give to the quarterback, and deservedly so. You know, what are you looking at me for?
Why is that?
Well, he's the guy that didn't get the ball snapped. He's the only guy that touches the ball on every down.
Well,
so
let me say this about that. Most of the time that's true. But what if the play gets into him late? Maybe they're substituting guys in. Maybe he gets...
It's still his fault. He should make up something. Just, get to the line and let me go with what I've got.
Just make up something, huh?
Yeah.
Do we have a door on this? Do we have a lock?
Trap door.
Is there a lock on this door to the booth?
Here's Bill Lemonier, our referee.
Sideline, prior to the 25-second clock expiring, no penalty. 3rd down, the ball's returned to the previous spot.
Yeah, they got a timeout time called in time to preserve that 5 yards, so it's still going to be 3rd down and 7 now instead of 3rd down and 12.
See, that's where the quarterback really needs some help, is from the sideline, because he sure as heck couldn't do it by himself.
Quarterbacks are smart enough to call timeout.
He didn't call it.
We got a timeout with 11:38 to go here in the opening quarter.
Go get us some coffee.
Okay, here we go.
Looking in to Spartan Stadium, and a big 3rd down on this opening drive for the Spartans. 3rd down at 7. Hoyer in the shotgun across the middle and in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Devin Thomas, who took a big shot. And so the only shot Michigan State's going to get to score is going to be their field goal unit. Good looking drive though, but it kind of sputtered once it got to the 20-yard line.
It's something. Engelman is the safety that comes up and hits him, and he took a bigger hit from his own teammate who come up and whacked him to congratulate him.
Brett Swenson comes out. He's 10 out of 16 on the year. Trying to give Michigan State the early lead. Remember, they won the toss and took the ball, took it right down the field, and now they'll attempt a 36-yard field goal from the right hash. High snap. They got it down, though, and he got all of it on the kick. Michigan State takes the lead at home. At 3-1 at home this year. Hoping to make it 4-1 against their arch rivals from Ann Arbor. So, nice looking drive. Hoyer did some nice things on that drive. Had a wide open Kellen Davis. That could have been a touchdown.
Yeah, if he just would have had a little bit more time. So you got to give the defense for Michigan a little credit for rushing the quarterback.
Take a look at the X Factor presented by Citi, and he is part of the X Factor. Henny, heart, and health. Triple H, as Grease would call him. Well, you're watching too much pro wrestling in that Triple H thing in there. We'll see how healthy they are.
Well, not only to start the game, and I think both of those guys will start the game on offense, but their health throughout the game, how long they can last.
Mike Hart, some serious high-top shoes he's wearing today, I noticed, compared to earlier in the season. He's got his big old hogs he's getting ready to take the field with. And he is the runt of the litter.
Oh, yeah, he's the heart and soul of that offense.
He sure is.
And Henny is the catalyst, and he's the guy that makes them go.
Henny has enough bruises on him, but he also has a big brace on his right leg, his right knee.
Bolesky will kick it off high and short, very short. They're going to have to hustle just to get it at the 20-yard line. Carlos Brown. And nice coverage because of the height on that kick to bring him down after a short return out to the 29-yard line. Whoop, we're gonna get mixing it up a little bit early here. And we'll bring out the Michigan offense, and the guy that'll bring us the Best Buy starting lineup, Big Jake Long, right there on the right of your screen. Jake.
We feature one of the most balanced offenses in the country. 200 yards rushing, 200 yards passing, and a 100-yard rusher every game.
And you know where a lot of that rushing comes? Right behind number 77. The All-American left tackle. There's Mike Hart at tailback. After 2 weeks of waiting, here he comes. And there he goes on that left side, and what a gain on the first play of the game, huh? Pickup of 8 yards. And, well, you guess who got a big block there, guys?
Well, he already knows where he's going. He knows that Jake Long, take a look at the block. He just pushes the guy to the outside. I mean, it's got to be a great feeling for a running back to know that if I'm going to run to my left and Jake Long is over there, I know that there's going to be at least a partial hole in that line.
That makes you feel good before you even get the ball.
Second down at 2. Butler, the tight end, in motion all the way across the field. Same side, Mike Hart again. Flags down this time. He got it out near the... Wait and see on the penalty.
Guys, that the fans pretty fired up about the festivities from last night. And here at Raymond James Stadium, a 7-7 ball game.
Previous play was offside that time, and that gives Michigan Lloyd Carr's Wolverines an automatic first down.
Baldwin is one of your better defensive linemen. Not only
fans to get excited, and then right back comes the Cincinnati Bearcats, and Antoine Giddens may have had a bad route run on the interception.
You can't see the backfield. He looks like a building.
Brandon Minor right now in at tailback for Michigan. Chad Henne taking his time.
Now, like Quint Kesnick reported in our conversation with Brian Kelly, gotta get the mojo back.
Defensive set with captain and middle linebacker Caleb Thornhill. Caleb?
Up front, we got 4 big guys that are going to attack the quarterback all day long. At the 3 linebackers, we got the hit squad, which is going to be coming down, attacking the run every play. And in the secondary, we got guys flying around, going to be picking balls off left and right.
Yeah, we'll wait and see if they'll pick off a lot of balls. Chad Henne's hoping not. Caleb, of course, second-generation Michigan State Stars. Daddy who passed away in December. Charlie was a great player here in the mid-60s. His brother was a linebacker here just a few years ago, about 5 years ago.
5-yard penalty, previous spot, still first down.
Michigan State's offside.
Played against Charlie Thornhill back in the 60s. Those great Michigan State teams, championship years.
You still have nightmares about those guys.
Every time I do a Michigan State game and I'm looking through the media guide, Bubba Smith, George Webster.
You know, the worst part about it, you're sitting up here doing the game and you look straight across and they're on the wall over there. So they got a reminder all game long.
I can't forget them. I can't forget them. I made those guys All-American.
So first down and 5. Henne back to throw. Chad wants a long one. Near sideline. Flags are down as Manningham, the intended receiver, got bumped. Ashton Henderson and Otis Wiley were both there with him. Manningham has been a big-time target for both the Michigan quarterbacks this year. Coming in, one of the leaders in the Big Ten, 820 yards receiving, over 16 per catch.
10-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Third Michigan State penalty of this drive.
When you take a look at this, there's Henderson. Now Henderson's looking back. You know, that to me, that's a tough call.
Well, the problem is the ball is in the air.
Exactly.
And so when the ball's in the air, you can't have your hands out on the guy, the offensive receiver. Yeah, so the key there was the ball was in the air. And footnote, Chad Henne's shoulder looked pretty good there.
That did. Might look better than Mike Hart's ankle because Brandon Miner stays in there, and he's going to be dropped in the backfield by Janal St. Dick, the defensive end, who's having a huge year, and a loss of 4.
You know, not only is St. Dick, is he a pass rusher, as we all know, but just watch him play the run. He gets himself inside the tackle and moves down, shilling down, and it gets inside and makes the play. Now, that just shows you speed, because you got Miner coming as fast as he can to the outside, and this guy beats him to the point.
St. Dick is only 6'1", 255 pounds.
Look at this guy. He's our unsung hero. Is that good? 9 sacks. You know, the amazing part about it, though, is this guy forced fumbles. This guy's got 8 forced fumbles, which is incredible.
Leads the country in that capacity. We had offsetting penalties just now, both teams, so it stays second down and long. A little bit of chippiness out there after the play. 3 wide receivers in now for Henne. On second down and 14. Mike Hart is back in. I believe they have added some tape to his ankle over the top of his shoe. Henne backpedals into the shotgun. Now they move Manningham.
So it would be illegal. They were both moving at the same time.
Henne with the throw. Immediate hit on Manningham after about a 1-yard gain. And again, they're pushing each other around at the end of the play. Let's check in with Bonnie.
Had a chance to talk to Lloyd Carr, Brad, and he definitely felt more comfortable about Mike Hart. He said probably on Wednesday he felt comfortable about him going. Grease, you alluded to the questions about Henne's shoulder, and I asked Lloyd, when he first hurt the shoulder a couple weeks ago against Illinois, Chad played through it. I said, what happens if that happens again? He said, I'm going to talk to my quarterback, but I'm also going to base that decision on what I see, and if the two don't mesh, well, you know who gets the final say on that.
So far, he's looked pretty good throwing the football. He'll set to throw again. Steps up and goes deep. Manningham got away from his defender, but he couldn't get to the football.
He got in that little. He couldn't get away from his defender early enough and smoothly enough. That was Henderson. Watch now. He's right there.
Boy, now here's a place you could have called Henderson for holding.
Yeah, because the ball was in the air. Because he had to let the ball go a heck of a long time before that break was made.
So that brings out Zoltan Mesko in punt formation as you look from behind number 41 set to kick. Terry Love waits way back there on the other end. Little pooch in the air, not a very good kick. Love's going to get a good fair catch on this at about the 17-yard line. So Michigan didn't gain much on that punt. But it'll be Brian Hoyer and the Spartan offense to try again when we come back.
This presentation of college football brought to you by Best Buy. For a complete home theater experience, get HD done right at Best Buy. The Nissan Titan, proud presenter of the 2007 Heisman Trophy. To cast your vote, go to theheismanvote.com. And Verizon Wireless.
They started playing for that baby, the Paul Bunyan Trophy, in this one back in 1953, reflecting Michigan's history as major lumber producing states. The governor at that time, G. Menon Williams, is a guy that donated that trophy. I don't know if Mrs. Williams carved it, but
I voted for it.
I'm sure you did. No gain on that play. As Michigan State with their second offensive series. Guys, let's talk about the game plan for these two teams a little bit.
This was really tough for Grease to come up with this one.
Well, both teams want to run the football, and what is it, 35 of the last 37?
Yeah.
Teams that have dominated and won the rushing battle have also won the game.
You know, one of those that wasn't, though, you saw Chad Henne. Chad Henne had a huge game in one of the games where Michigan was outrushed and still won the game because of Chad's passing. There's some pad popping going on down there. Jamar Adams makes a stop after a pickup of about 5. Big night coming up in college football, too. A lot of you'll see. Maybe the Heisman's top candidate, Matt Ryan, number 2 BC, taking on Florida State. Others will see Texas A&M and Oklahoma, or USC and Oregon State. Check your local listings for Saturday Night Football, presented by Southwest Airlines at 8 o'clock Eastern on ABC.
It's supposed to be another bad weather game for Matt Ryan. He had to play in Blacksburg against Virginia Tech in the rain, and he did pretty well in that one.
Well, in the last 2 minutes, he played like he was a Heisman candidate for sure. Hoyer with the throw, Thomas with the catch at the 25, maybe the 26, but it's going to be short of the first down. So Michigan State apparently is going to have to give it up here. I think they're about 2 yards shy. As we take a look at the ESPNU All-State Standings review, Ohio State is now a perfect 10-0 after their win over Wisconsin today. Boston College, that 8-0 mark, up to the number 2 spot. LSU's got a trip to Alabama. Oh boy, it's the Saban Bowl and the whole thing this afternoon, later this afternoon.
Right.
Arizona State and Oregon get together on ESPN at 6:40 tonight. That's got huge implications for the Pac-10 as far as the Rose Bowl. As Aaron Bates, a freshman, is set to punt. And this one could be returnable by Greg Matthews. He dropped it, but it came right back up to him on a one-hopper. A perfect dribble by Greg Matthews. Michigan's got good field position, trailing by 3 when we come back.
He's getting ready for basketball, isn't he? He's right.
Former star here, Plaxico Burress, watching his alma mater against Michigan, now starting offensively from its own 38-yard line. Mike Hart at tailback as Henry drops the throw, pumps once, and across the middle he goes. And it looks like it's going to be a first down toss to Carson Butler. Let's go down to Bonnie.
Well, look what I got here. So Plaxico Burress gets a bye week with the Giants, and you said there's no better place to be than East Lansing this week. What do you remember most?
It's great to be a Spartan. You know, I came out here versus Michigan against guys like DeHoney Jones, Victor Hobson. We just had a great day. And we beat them guys 38-34.
Going to come back to you right after the play. Plex, hang tight.
First down at the 48. Here's a stretch play. And Hart to about the 49. Bob?
Back in 1999, right? 10 catches, 255 yards. Those numbers ring a bell?
Man, I just felt like I was playing on there. It was one of the very special days of my career in college. And, man, I just wish I could go out there and do it again.
How much of a feel have you gotten from Mark D'Antonio and how he's trying to turn this program around?
Hey, I'm very happy with Coach D. I think he's the right guy for this program. You know, he's installing discipline in the guys, and guys are working hard for him. Guys respect him, and they go out and play hard for him. And as a result, I think we're on our way back up.
Giants have won 6 in a row now. Any predictions for the NFC East?
You know, we just need to keep playing good football. I think, you know, we haven't been playing good football as well, but we're getting better. And I think as a team, as we get better, you know, we'll continue to get better, and we'll see what happens.
Plaxico Burress, one of just a handful of Spartans ever to exceed the 1,000-yard receiving mark, Brad.
Only one of 3. Devin Thomas hoping to join him before this season is over. Adam Cross, they still haven't gotten him over to the sideline. Cross is senior, one of those offensive linemen, and he went down and got halfway to the sideline and took another knee.
Yes, I did a pro game when Plexico was at Pittsburgh Steelers, and they threw him a pass down the middle of the field, and he still thought he was in college. He jumped up with the ball. No one had touched him. It wasn't down. He threw the ball down like to spike the ball, and the ball was alive, and they turned it over.
I remember that play exactly. Here's another look. Krause in the middle of things right there, and that's where the collision with Thornhill. That might have been friendly fire that got him. It's kind of hard to tell. Second down along 7. Mike Hart, nice little move in the hole, and here he goes. Mike Hart on the way. Still on his feet. Dragging Spartans to the 11-yard line.
If there was any doubt, if any problems with Mike Hart's ankle, it just was answered.
Wow. That's some kind of run, huh?
Well, he puts a move on in this hole. It just watch this. Here comes the fake. You got the linebacker, and I think that's Jones coming up right in the boom, and it's just gone. He's by him, and there's no chance. Jones is a true freshman.
Exactly.
But I'm going to tell you something. He will be embarrassed for the rest of his life.
77 is long. He's getting his guy. And then, like you said, the freshman linebacker against the senior running back. Who won?
1st and 10 at the 11. Hart again, left side. And this time they're waiting for him. Although he's still dragging guys around, he's going to lose yardage. And Wagbu is the guy that finally brought him down. Mike Hart came in. He's Michigan's all-time leading rusher. Came in with 4,757 yards and added 37 on that last one to get down to the 11-yard line.
Yeah, and Brad, he had missed the last 2.5 games for the Wolverines. He was not there, and Henne missed last week's game against Minnesota. So both of their 4-year starters, their best players on offense, look pretty good to me so far in this ball game.
Second down, Henne, quick drop, quick throw to the corner, touchdown Michigan. And it's Manningham in the corner.
That's Henderson again. Wow. That he beats.
Chad Henne put it right where it had to be, where Manningham is the only guy that could get it. And Mario Manningham with his 8th touchdown catch of the year.
Well, it's just down here, and it's just going to be a little fade. We want our guy to beat your guy. And Manningham beats Henderson. Henderson is starting for the second time, but they've had 4 different corners starting at that spot for Michigan State.
So the Wolverines have their first lead of the day and looking to add the extra point onto it. Lapata does. And the Wolverines go 62 yards in just 5 plays. And they cap it off with Chad Henne. His 11th touchdown pass of the year, his 81st of his career. Michigan 7-3 now. Manningham with a touchdown catch of 11 yards. You see the freshman Ryan Mallett warming up on the sideline with the headset on. That's a good look. The key play in that drive was Mike Hart's 37-yard dash down to the 11.
I think Michigan's plan is to sprinkle in Mallett and not have Henne have to do the whole thing by himself, but keep him ready.
Michigan State will have to start from the 20-yard line as the kick was over in the corner over the head of Devin Thomas. Reminder on ESPN tonight, we mentioned it a couple minutes ago. Big game in the Pac-10 coming up at 6:40 Eastern time. Number 4, Sun Devils of Arizona State trying to remain unbeaten. They're taking on our guy Dennis Dixon and the Oregon Ducks, number 5. College football presented by Hampton Hotels on ESPN tonight. Rudy Carpenter's numbers have been very, very impressive. First time since the Jake the Snake days of '96 that Arizona State's off to a perfect start. And Dennis Dixon obviously is in the running for the Heisman Trophy, among other things.
I'd agree with that.
Here's Hoyer with a throw complete. And that one's out to the 24-yard line. And if they're anything like the official statistician down in the box below us, they're going to call that a pass play too, which they did earlier. That was another lateral, just in case you're listening to me down there.
Oh, is he upset today? Is he upset about something?
I don't know. If you start at the 20-yard line and the guy makes the catch at the 17, is that not a lateral?
You know why, Grease? He does not have a sweater vest.
Yeah. I don't want a sweater vest.
He didn't get the memo today.
No.
By the way, one of my partners is wearing a green sweater vest and another is wearing a blue sweater vest. Part of the colors of both these teams. So I guess, you know, I'll leave it at that.
We work together.
If you can get out of the stadium alive.
I'll tell you, it beats the heck out of that yellow hanky.
Roland Martin jumped early. And Michigan State's doing this to themselves here with a couple of penalties. They had some on their first drive that netted them just a field goal. And they already have 4 penalties here in the first quarter.
Well, they came in as the 9th most penalized team in the league. There's only 2 other teams that are penalized more, so they're true to form here today.
Now, that's one of the things that D'Antoni was talking about, is keeping their composure. Now, they're home, and they're in front of a friendly crowd. It should be a lot easier for them, but they're making some goofy mistakes at the line.
At the 20, on 2nd and 10, Hoyer swings it. Oh, what a hit put on by Chris Graham, the outside linebacker. And Javon Ringer's got ringers going on in his helmet right now, probably. Well,
I'll tell you something. Chris Graham read this totally. Ringer is his man. Watch this. When he comes out, he sees him. It's off to your left on the screen. Now watch. Catch, bang. I mean, that's head to head. There was just absolutely no hesitation. Listen.
You hear us talk about man-to-man coverage. That linebacker is covering that back, and wherever he goes, that linebacker's going to cover him, and he got there just at the right time.
Ooh. Hoyer tipped at the line, incomplete. Somebody got a hand on it. Might have been Tim Jamison, I think, and Michigan State's going to have to punt it from deep in their own territory. Not a Sparty kind of day so far. Trailing 7-3 as you look at the other finals from around the Big Ten. Ohio State and Wisconsin had a big battle going, and then the Buckeyes poured it on. Penn State beat Purdue by 7. Northwestern, Iowa winner over Northwestern. Northwestern was trying to get bowl-worthy, and Indiana winner in non-conference play over Ball State.
Ohio State was impressive coming back after Wisconsin went ahead.
So now it's Aaron Bates from his own goal line. And not a great kick again. Does take a Michigan State bounce, and it's going to make it to Michigan territory, and a pretty good roll. He'll get credit for a decent punt as it rolled 43 yards down to about the 44-yard line. To talk about this series, it started 1898. Michigan won the first one way back then. Michigan Agriculture was what Michigan State was called at one point, 1913. And then Biggie won the first Paul Bunyan Trophy in 53 as Michigan State won. Then Michigan, 5 straight wins. And they lead the all-time series 66-28-5.
Hey, Bryce, you didn't mention Duffy Daugherty. You didn't mention Bo Schembechler. You get these 2 teams together, and you got some great coaches involved in this series.
No doubt. Those are just part of the timeline. There's a lot of great moments, great coaches, great players, All-Americans, Heisman winners, you name it. They've all been in this thing. And now it's in its 100th year. It's a loss of 1 for Mike Hart, who doesn't lose many. Irvin Baldwin made the stop.
Well, he lost because he ran right. you got to run. Yeah, see, you got to go left, okay?
51 there is Baldwin getting inside. That's just a great play by an offside defensive end, slanting and coming across, making a play.
Slicing in behind to make the stop of a loss of 1. Second down, 11. Down to the final minute of the first quarter. And now Michigan saying that Michigan State jumped in there on their center. And I think that's going to be the call, judging by the reaction of the Spartan players.
Contact, 97 defense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
It was Justin Kershaw who jumped in there. And that's a free 5 yards. You're talking about the stars of past games in this series in the last 3 years. How about Mike Hart's got 611 yards with what he's done today. Chad Henne now has 11 touchdown passes with the one he threw to Manningham, and Manningham added his 4th.
3-0 has not lost in this series.
Right. So these guys in green and white have never won in this series, and they want to snap that at home today. Henne, nice play fake. Loads it. Fires, and in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Adrian Arrington. Nice job defensively by Kendall Davis Clark to get the hit on him and pop that football out of there.
Kendall Davis Clark played this play to the end of the play because this ball should have been caught by Arrington. This ball is in Arrington's hands. And if Davis Clark doesn't pursue and keep hitting him, that's a catch. This is a great defensive play made.
Michigan about a 46% team on third down conversions. This will be a 3rd down and 6. Chad Henne took a shot after he let that last one go. He'll be in the shotgun here. Crowd trying to warm it up for the Spartans. Henne fires near sideline, incomplete, intended for Arrington, and Michigan will have to give it up.
Pat Narduzzi, the defensive coordinator, bring in some pressure.
I didn't see the flag in the middle of the field.
There is one.
There is one, and it's on Michigan.
Yeah. But Henne didn't have a lot of time, had to get rid of the ball because there was a lot of green shirts around him.
Do you like that call, Grace, on 3rd and 8 or 9, and then send like 6 guys like he just did instead of playing back and playing pass defense?
Striking number 85. 15-yard penalty. 4th down.
Personal foul on Carson Butler. So they get to take the penalty and still force the punt because it was against.
Oh, it was after the play.
After the play.
Yeah.
And against Michigan. So they should get pretty good field position now out of this unless Mesko really airmails one, and he's capable of doing that. Mesko to punt from his own 20. A short kick. Terry Love says get out of the way, and it takes a Michigan State bounce. Well, the Spartans are going to get good field position. Only a 27-yard punt. And the green and white offense will take the field at about the 41-yard line, trailing 7-3, 25 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
And that's what Michigan State has to do now is go right back to what they did all year long. They've got to run the football. Come on, they've got the big backs in the backfield. They got Ringer, they got Colquitt. They have to run the football. Standing back there and throwing the ball against Michigan, to me, is crazy. You can block these guys. Do it.
Michigan only allows about 129 yards a game on the ground. They allowed only 60 to Michigan State last year. They're off to a good start here today, stopping the run. Nice play fake by Hoyer.
Got him.
Got a man wide open. And he undershot him. Devin Thomas trying to slow down. He couldn't put the brakes on enough.
You know, he had him wide open, but we were down on the field before the game, and there is a huge wind down at that end of the field. And it just stops every ball. He's got 20 yards. There's nobody in the center of the field. He just needs to get the ball down there.
And as you saw, he couldn't get those brake pads to lock fast enough.
You know what a sick feeling that is, Ness, when you've got touchdown all day long.
You're holding your head.
You can't get the ball to get the ball to me, please.
Holding your head like that fan was. It's the same way I did. He's wide open. Get it to him.
Instead, it's 2nd down and 10, and now they do try to run right up the middle, and that's not going to gain much, maybe a couple. Chris Graham made the stop on Ringer.
The thing about those plays are, Brad, they don't come by that often. And when you get the right call at the right time against the right defense with the right protection, you don't get that opportunity very often. So it was 7 points if he just get him the ball.
Well, instead it's 7-3 at the end of one. We got a long way to go between the Wolverines and the Spartans. Hang around with us. Well, at least the young fans can mix together. They like one another good enough, at least at this point. 3rd down for Michigan State. Hoyer out of the shotgun. Got a man in the middle, and he threw an interception. Trying to get it to Thomas. Back coming Michigan. And Jamar Adams has got it to the 42-yard line. So there's the first big mistake of the ball game. And a penalty marker flies in at the end of the play. Might be a little bit of taunting, I'm not sure.
Hoyer had only thrown 1 interception in his last 167 passes coming into the ball game.
He had Thomas on a streak right down the middle. I don't know if he didn't see Adams, but as Bob just said, and there you see the statistic. He hasn't done that often. And again, a penalty marker at the end of the play. We're going to hear about it eventually, as the officials are still having a committee meeting down there at about the 43-yard line.
Well, if you're going to throw the ball in the middle of the field, you better be aware of where that safety is, and he was not aware.
The play at the sideline was legal.
So they pick up the flag. And this is the 3rd interception of the year for Jamar Adams.
Top of your screen right here, trying to get the ball. He should have seen that safety. I don't think he even saw the safety because he was just hanging back there.
That gives a golden opportunity to Michigan.
It's only the 5th interception that Hoyer has thrown all year.
At the 42-yard line, let's see if Michigan keeps it on the ground or if they might go for a quick strike. It'll be Mike Hart. He can strike you anytime, I guess, and he's bouncing out of the pile. Mike Hart down the sideline, all the way to the 12-yard line. He never quits on himself, and he never quits on a play.
He just does not want to be tackled.
I know. You know, Grace, when we watch him, we did it 3 games in a row. His legs don't stop. When you watch this guy run, folks, just watch his feet. Forget about everything else. You'll see him in the pile. Watch his legs. They move, they move, they move. He bounces himself back to the outside. His legs never stop moving. And now he finds himself free going down the sidelines. You just love everything about the way this guy runs.
Well, earlier he had a 37-yard run to the 11. This time a 32-yard run to the 10. Michigan with a first down. And now the other way, a loss of about a yard.
Talking to Mike Hart today, Brad, I can tell you he always runs with passion, but he said, I've known all week I was going to play. There was no way in the world I was going to miss this game because I got 200 yards to roll up. So I think he's got a little experience doing that against his team, hasn't he?
He's done that twice out of the previous 3 games. He's always gone over 100 and has 2 200-plus games. Well,
there's a pushing, shoving match over there with Davis Clark.
And that's not very smart because it's half the distance to the goal. It's not a 15-yard penalty, but nonetheless, you're letting Mike Hart and the Michigan offense sneak down closer to your goal line for no reason. And I'm pretty sure that's what the coaches are going to tell him on the sideline as they take him out.
Well, this is for Michigan State defensively, this is a sudden change. Opportunity to go on the field, bad situation, and stop him from scoring.
Alex Mitchell jumped out of his stance too early, trying to pull to the left side, and that'll back it up the 5 yards they just gave up. So it's going to be first and goal at the 10. The football's just shaded outside the 10-yard line. 7-3 Michigan, opening minute of the 3rd quarter, and they're pretty effective on their red zone offense. 24 touchdowns and their 32 scores. Henny sends Butler in motion and gives it to Mike Hart. Hart bouncing off tacklers, and he's got it down to about the 5 again. St. Deke and Thornhill combine on the stop.
Well, you know, you talk about all these other guys, the offensive line blocking, Long and Krause and all these guys, but I'll tell you what, they got Mundros, number 44, the fullback, and he just goes up in the hole and annihilates people.
Mundros over 230 pounds as well, number 44, and he'll set up as the front man for Mike Hart again. Actually shades to the left a little bit. Michigan second down.
Single coverage on the receiver at the top.
Hart almost dropped the ball, hurdled one man, and gets swarmed under as he got to the 5. He almost dropped that football, and remember, Mike Hart almost never drops the football. He came in with over 950 touches, and he's smiling because he held on to that thing.
Yeah, I think it's 975 without a fumbled lost.
Watch this. You're going to see it right on the handoff. Whoa! Especially with the defender he had to hurdle coming in there.
That's pretty good.
Huge 3rd down right now for the Spartan defense. Henny to the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan. Carson Butler. Perfect strike. Henny's 2nd scoring toss of the day. Butler a big target. And Henny with the perfect throw.
Here's Butler right here. He just just going to break to the outside. You got 3 receivers over there. That's a nice throw. You're throwing it over some green jerseys, away from some other green jerseys.
A lot of choices over there. Michigan got 3 receivers in the same spot.
And he had all kinds of time. Didn't need much time to throw that because they were so close to the end zone anyway. But his offensive line had a perfect pocket around him, capping a 42-yard drive in just 5 plays. Henne, his 82nd touchdown pass of his career. 14-3 Wolverines. So the Wolverines take advantage of Jamar Adams' interception. Mike Hart took it 32 yards to get him close. And then Chad Henne zipped the pass to the tight end Butler for the touchdown. It's 14-3, Michigan in front. Brian Wright will kick off. A.J. Jimerson and Devin Thomas waiting on the other end. Thomas can be electrifying if he gets a little crease. He'll take this at the 6. Thomas cuts outside, trying to pick up his blockers, and down the sideline. Nice return. Out to about the 37-yard line, and we go out to Matt Weiner in New York. Matt.
All right, Brad, Texas needed a big comeback to beat Nebraska last week. They're going to need another one if they're going to win at Oklahoma State in this Verizon Wireless update. Colt McCoy overthrows and is picked off by Jacob Lacey. He's found the wrong orange twice already, and the Cowboys lead 21-0.
Whoa, man.
Wow.
Well, you couple that with what's going on elsewhere in the Big 12. Last time we saw the Kansas score was 76-31 over Nebraska. 76. Remember that 36-game winning streak, Nebraska over Kansas? Oh, yeah. Is that a little bit of a payback, maybe, for all those years? All those suffering years. Kansas will remain undefeated, of course, with that win.
Saw that graphic there about the offense for Michigan State. They did well on their first possession, 10 plays, and had to settle for a field goal. Then on the next 3 possessions, it was been 3 and out.
Well, you know, I said run the ball, but I didn't mean give it to Hawken, the fullback, who's only had 1 attempt before this game. I mean, you give it to Ringer.
Ringer is the tailback. They fake it to him, and Hoyer throws, tipped, almost caught by Thomas. It was intended for Kellen Davis. Davis had a catch early in the first quarter as we take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. Hawkrick and Ringer, they are not ringing up big numbers, are they? The Michigan defense is holding them in check. Chad Henne, though, questionable whether he'd be a starter. He's not only been a starter, he's been a star. 2 touchdowns, 1 to Manningham, 1 to Butler moments ago. And that's where we are at 14-3. Meanwhile, Brian Hoyer trying to get this offense going. He looked sharp early and then threw an interception the last time he had the ball. And this time he's not going to get a chance to get rid of it. Terrence Taylor is the guy that got there first.
Well, they sent a whole load. They sent 7 guys. I'm telling you, they waited, and they timed this blitz absolutely perfectly to do it. And again, Hoyer did not read the blitz or did not read the defense.
That's 4 straight possessions without a first down for Michigan State.
Legal procedure, false start penalty apparently against Michigan State will be declined.
Illegal formation offense. 5 in the backfield.
Well, that still wasn't enough to slow these guys down. Look at the guy, white shirts that are in the backfield. Hoyer just has no place to throw the ball and no time to throw it.
Hoyer would probably like to tell our referee, you know, I need 6 or 7 in back here if I can have them. Aaron Bates now will have to punt again. Neither punter has been particularly effective so far today. This one goes over the head of Matthews. He might have lost it in the sun, I'm not sure. Looked like he didn't even see it. And this one rolls all the way down to about the 7-yard line. So that turned out great for Bates. A 70-yard punt with a roll. He'll take it, I think. Michigan by 14-3.
This presentation of college football brought to you by the new 2008 Focus, Aflac, ask about it at work, and the Home Depot. You can do it.
Mark D'Antonio took the football team to the basketball opener last night. Grand Valley State at the Breslin Center was Tom Izzo's competition. Believe it or not, doesn't count in the scoreboard. 85-82 double overtime. Grand Valley State's Division II won over the preseason 8th-ranked team in the country. And maybe a 2-yard gain as we check in with Bonnie.
Brad, State has a promising freshman quarterback in Chris Rucker, but he's been on the shelf because he's had 3 eye surgeries in the last couple of weeks. What exactly is this condition you have?
Well, I had a detached retina, so they had to go in and fix everything. It came out of nowhere.
I see you've got these special glasses on. What do they do for you?
They block the sun from going into my eyes because it hurt my eyes when the light hit it.
Now, this isn't a career-threatening condition, is it? What have the doctors told you about when you can come back?
They said maybe late December, so if we make it to a ball game in January, I'll be able to play.
All right, so we'll be hanging on for that, Chris. Thanks.
All right. Chris L. Rucker played very well before that. Detached retina in both eyes. I think he's got to stay out of the boxing ring or something, but luckily they caught it, and he's going to be okay and be able to play if the whole season rolls around. Here's our Aflac trivia question. Mark D'Antonio is attempting to beat Michigan in his first year as the Spartan head coach. Who's the only Spartan coach to beat the Wolverines in his first try? Think that one over.
You don't have to go back a long.
Oh, there's a. You give him a clue.
100 years. No, 100 years in the series.
No, you can't get.
You don't have to go back past 50 years.
3rd and 3. Henny pumps. They're trying to get the ball, and it's out. Covered by Michigan, and almost at the first down marker. So Alex Mitchell got around the football. That saved a disaster.
Everything had been going Michigan's way, with the injured players playing well, the interception by the defense of Michigan playing well. That's the first opportunity for the Spartans to make a play.
Just when Chad tried to tuck it away, it kind of, I don't know if it hit on somebody else or on his own thigh pad, but it popped out of there.
Still going well. It's still going well for Michigan. They got the ball back.
Mescal to punt now. He's inside his own 5. Terry Love should have maybe a chance at this one. And he will from the 49. Love heading to the wide side and got maybe to the 43-yard line on the return. So Michigan State's got an opportunity here because of field position to get something working. We'll see if they can when we come back. Michigan State now at the Michigan 44-yard line with a first down. Nice play fake by Hoyer. Going to come back to his secondary receiver. Did he get it there? Nope. That's a one-hopper to Devin Thomas. I think he wanted to go downfield and then took Thomas incomplete at about the 34-yard line.
It was a read route by Thomas. He was going to go kind of out and down the sideline. But I'd much rather look at the dog.
Sparty's going to get bit there if you don't watch out. Sparty, one of the top mascots in the country, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
Michigan State.
Wins a lot of awards.
No first downs on 4 or 5 possessions after the opening march, which is about as crisp as you could do it. But they had to settle for 3, and that's all they have still. Officials are holding up play right now here momentarily. I think it's with the play clock, and now they've got it in working order. Here we go on a 2nd down at 10. Inside handoff as they were going to fake the end around, and Ringer still can't find any running room against the Michigan defense. So very short gain, and bring up a 3rd down. Did you know that Sparty has won 3 national titles in the past 4 years as the mascot competition at Walt Disney World? At Walt Disney World, we appreciate Mr. Disney for all the fine things he does for us, especially when he sends me that envelope every week. I like it. Third down and 7.
Help me. Help me.
Hoyer in the gun. And he's been under the gun today. He is again. Flushed out of the pocket, throws, completes. And it's going to be a first down. Got it out to Hawkin, the fullback. Penalty markers on the play.
And back they come.
Just when they do something right, it comes back.
This is not anything near the game plan that I have envisioned for Michigan State.
Holding. 73 offense, 10 yards previous spot, be third down.
Well, I think you thought Ringer and Colquitt could be ringing up big numbers, and they're not.
Well, but they're running these two guys between the tackles. Get them outside. At least get Ringer outside.
Michigan State came in the leading offensive team in the Big Ten and second in rushing. They're averaging over 200 yards, both rushing and passing. And here it is, first half anyway, they haven't been able to do much against this Michigan defense.
They're about to blow away great field position that they had after the punt return, because now it's 3rd and 17. They want to throw screen pass. Ringer going to be tracked down, as actually kept going for about a 5-yard gain, and it's going to bring up 4th down. Bonnie?
No, I don't think this is the way Ringer exactly expected the game to go either, and he's been itching to play the Michigan game because he missed it last year with a torn MCL, and he was telling me, I was so miserable. I sat in my apartment with a brace on watching them lose, and I hated that I couldn't, be out there to at least try to help. Well, obviously this year it's a much different story. He's, their first 1,000-yard back in 6 years, and he talked about how he desperately wants to win this one for J.U. Colquitt and the seniors because, of course, they haven't had a chance to beat the Wolverines.
Javon had come in averaging 7.4 yards a carry in Big Ten games, and he's 7.4 yards in the whole game so far. So it's a punt coming, and it takes a Michigan State bounce. Again, they're going to pin Michigan inside the 10-yard line with 7 minutes and a second remaining in this quarter. Let's check in with John Saunders in New York. John?
Brad, in the Sports Center Minute powered by Vizio, Nebraska, how the mighty have fallen. Kansas remains unbeaten, but in unbelievable fashion. 76-39 is the final in this game. Meanwhile, #1 will stay that way thanks to Beanie Wells. 31 yards on this touchdown run. Ohio State scored the last 28 points of the game and win it going away. Brad, back to you.
All right, John, thanks. Mark Mangino's got to be considered, I think, the front runner for Coach of the Year right now.
Oh, no question about it.
Here's Mike Hart going behind Jake Long and company on that left side. Not a big gain that time. Big Jake, after those opening losses, he told us what Michigan had to do when they were 0-2.
After the Oregon game, we had a players meeting and made sure that we talked about it and made sure that everybody was still excited for the season and knew that there was still a championship out there for us to win. And, everybody was still excited and they wanted to get back to work.
It's still within striking distance. If they can keep on winning, they control their own destiny. Here's a guy that would help them get there. Mike Hart out to about the 14-yard line. Jake Long, maybe soft-spoken, the captain, the two-time captain out of Lapeer, Michigan. You see Long tattooed on his right as Mike Hart limps off after that last carry.
Yeah, I think he's sprained that ankle a little bit. That's the ankle, the right one, that he had a problem with for 2.5 games and missed. But you don't know how serious that is right now. It could be just got it banged and he'll be all right.
He comes out. The 3-receiver offense comes in, including Arrington, who's in motion on 3rd down and a long 3. Chad Henne. Let's see if Michigan State brings some heat. They're going to back out of it. 3-man rush. Throw is incomplete anyway. They got enough pressure. St. Deke got a little bit of heat in there. And Michigan's going to have to punt from near its own end zone.
What if Jake Long gets tired of looking down at people? He's 6'7".
This is Mike Hart on that last run. And you see the heavily taped right ankle and how high he's got those high tops today. They might have to retape again, but he's almost got 100 yards here in the first half.
Spartans should come out of this with good field position.
They did last time. They didn't do anything with it. Let's see about this time. Esco hangs it up high. Fair catch to 49 by Terry Love. So they're in Michigan territory for the 2nd straight time. Last time they went the wrong way. They got to start going the other way, trailing 14-3.
IBM presents the 25 greatest players ever. Number 14, Hugh Green. Named to Street and Smith Magazine's All-Decade team, this Pittsburgh defensive end won the Maxwell and Walter Camp Awards, which no defensive player had ever done before. Green's 1980 season led to the most Heisman Trophy votes ever for a purely defensive player. IBM, getting it done.
Hugh finished second in the Heisman Trophy voting. So he's moving in at number 14 after Elway and Tom Harmon. Number 2 and number 1 announced on New Year's Day on ABC.
Grace won't tell us who it is.
Oh, Bob's keeping mum about all of that.
Top 10 are going to be pretty good.
They got to be, I'd say. Here's a toss, trying to go wide,
there you go,
as Paul was talking about earlier, and they do get something going. About a 9-yard gain for Javon Ringer.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Our aerial coverage for our game today, courtesy of the Outback Steakhouse Airship. The Bloomin' Onion ones along with us again today. Look for the Outback Steakhouse Airship at ESPN on ABC college football games throughout 2007. You see the beautiful autumnal colors in East Lansing, Michigan. Great day for football in the 50s, sunshine. You can see that the stadium is starting about 2/3 of it in shadows now. That means Bonnie's going to get a little bit colder as the game goes on. Autumnal. Here's Colcrick, the big guy, trying to bounce off tacklers and can't. Chris Graham's had a good game at linebacker so far on the day. We asked you the Aflac trivia question a little bit earlier, and this guy was, here comes a hint, he was part of the staff.
Yeah.
The only Spartan coach to beat the Wolverines in his first attempt. Yeah, I think a lot of you got it when Grease gave the hint. 95, Nick Saban, his first year, he did it.
We asked Coach yesterday when we were talking to him about, you know, Tressel was one of his confidants.
Right.
We said, you ever talk to Saban? He says, oh, yeah. He says, we see him. He said, we talked to him. He said, he likes him a lot.
He was at spring football down to talk to the Alabama players down at actually his camp, Nick's camp. And Nick's got his hands full today. LSU in Tuscaloosa. That's the big game in the SEC today.
Impressed with what D'Antonio is doing here, though. I think this is the 3rd time we've done a Michigan State game. First time we've had him at home, and just talking to his coaches, seeing the way he's talking with his players and what I really am impressed, and I think he's going to have a lot of success here at Michigan State.
He says he's been enough places. 5th time that he's been on a new staff, and always they were successful, even with Youngstown State, of course, with Jim Tressel before getting in Division I. But every stop, he's learned along the way how to make a program a good one, and I think he'll do it here. Here's Hoyer, deep for Thomas. Stretches out incomplete. Thomas may have gotten away with a little bit of a shove at the end of the play, but it's incomplete.
He just pushed Donovan Warren out of the way. I mean, what do you call here? And I know, you know, it doesn't look like a push, but it certainly was. Thomas just pushes off. Watch. Number 5 is going to push number 6. Watch this push. Right? About right there. Boom. He pushes him with his left hand. I mean, you just don't automatically go left.
Wait, everybody had their hands out now.
Oh.
I mean, you know, you got to let them hand fight a little bit, right, Brett? I mean, the first time they threw at the true freshman Warren all day.
Aaron Bates is set to punt. I don't know if Bates can do anything. It is 4th and about 9, but if you have some trickery in your punting game, no, he's just going to kick it away. And this one he did get too much on. He had dropped 2 inside the 10, not that time though. And 4:22 remaining. Michigan will take over with a full complement of timeouts and an 11-point lead. Talking about leads, the lead's dwindling right now after trading wins the past 4 weeks. Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson have turned the chase into their own personal duel. They're heading to Texas. Big shootout going on at Texas tomorrow as the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series coverage starts 3 Eastern, the NASCAR countdown. And there's how it looks right now. It's getting tight, boys, between the 24 car and the 48 car.
Yeah, they've been there all along. That 99 car not doing too good there, Paul.
How about the what?
They go into Fort Worth. They're in Fort Worth. Then they go to Phoenix next week, and then they go to Homestead.
Stop.
They got 3 more to go, and then I'm going to be the winner.
Boy, you really like that, don't you? He's still mad that he didn't get a trophy from Aflac the 3rd year a couple seasons ago. So he's got this NASCAR thing on his mind, and the NASCAR Nextel Cup means a lot to Bob.
Well, now you got to know, Toyota came in, and then Gibbs, he's got his own team, and some of these drivers.
Why don't you go buy a car?
Changing teams are going to other teams. Yeah. So you got to know all that stuff.
Miner, is in the backfield now because Hart is still on the bench.
Michigan State showed blitz. They back away from it as Henney backed away from center. Now they do come with it. Henney, 1 pump fake, throws, incomplete. Intended for Arrington, and Henny's going to have to clean himself up as St. Deke got the hit on him.
Let me tell you what, St. Deke just comes around, and you talk about whacking. If he's a half a second earlier, he's got him. Watch this. Around the outside, and here he comes. Full blast, bam. He hits it right in the ribs.
And St. Deke is a turnover looking to happen.
Yeah.
As we said earlier, he has 8 forced fumbles on the year.
And 9 sacks. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Now the crowd coming to life. It's 3rd and 10.
Guys are holding hands on the offensive line.
Yeah, there's someone on to hold St. Deke.
Timeout taken by Michigan. They'll have a 3rd and 10 they'll be looking at in just a moment. Got a how it works for you today. If you've ever seen Skycam, 2 operators for the Skycam. One operates the camera lens while the pilot operates the body of the Skycam. There's 4 reels that allow it to change directions. That baby can go about 12 miles an hour is what McGuire's telling me. Frequently asked question how Skycam keeps from getting hit. Well, our guys over here, we got Clint and Scott. They keep it out of harm's way because they always have it behind the offense. That way, you don't get in the line of fire.
I'm surprised it's working because Greasy was over there before the game screwing around with it.
He came over to me about an hour before the game. He said, I think I broke Skycam.
They're right. They're right over here in our booth. They're right next door to our booth. That was really good. I like that.
Gives us some great angles and some great shots.
Great shots, but you get to see what the quarterback sees. Break the huddle, come up the line of scrimmage, look at the defense.
What Chad Henne will be looking at is a 3rd down and 10 as Michigan trots its offense back out there. Kellen Davis has come in, the tight end, to play defensive end for Michigan State to try to get some extra heat on Henne. Three-man rush. Henne fires on the sideline, tipped, almost intercepted. He actually had a man open, but Ashton Henderson played that beautifully. Manningham was out there. The ball just didn't get over the top of number 31.
That could have been a big play for the Spartans if one of those defensive backs could have come up with that. Looking right back into the sun. You know, the luck has not been on the green-shirted side today. Because
really
that tipped ball, if somebody would have been there to catch it, they could have run with that one.
If somebody's got a horseshoe in their pocket so far today, it's been the Wolverines, not the Spartans. Mesko's been a busy punter. We just keep getting 3 and outs. Oh, boy, he got all of this one. Wow, what a punt, finally. Trying to make an over-the-shoulder catch. I don't think Terry Love touched it. He's going to back out of the way. He didn't, or that could have been a disaster, too. 52-yard kick that time. 3:15 left in the half. Reminder, Monday Night Football on ESPN continues. Ray Lewis anchors the Baltimore Ravens defense, and Ben Roethlisberger's getting the Steelers going again a little bit with Parker and the gang. Monday Night Football on ESPN, 8:30 Eastern. Coverage starts at 7 Eastern with Monday Night Countdown. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, Bonnie Bernstein in East Lansing, Michigan, where the Spartans had a 3-0 lead. But then Chad Henne, after big runs by Mike Hart with 2 touchdown passes, and we're at 14-3. Trying to run wide, that didn't work either. Obi Eze knocks down Devin Thomas in a hurry.
We've had 14 possessions, and 9 of the 14 combined possessions have been 3 plays and a punt. So the defense is playing pretty well.
And the Spartans just can't get anything going on the ground so far. A loss of 2 on that last play. Mark D'Antonio talking about the outcome of this game. He said, you know, says Earl Bruce used to say it, when it's all over, you can walk in the alleys or you can walk in the streets.
I like that one.
That's the bragging rights. This one's at stake, and going the wrong way is Hoyer. Dropped back at the 20-yard line. Michigan defensively just not giving anything up to the Spartans so far, whether it be Ringer or Kulkrick, whoever's carrying the football. They've been draped all over them, including the fullback Hawken. And it's just tough running in there. They had one decent run of about 9 yards about 3 minutes ago on their last possession, and that's it.
Well, Michigan just took a timeout.
.63 yards of offense with a team that came in #1 in the Big Ten, as Bob mentioned earlier, in total offense. Big Ten Bowl results from a year ago. Remember, they did so well in the regular season, and then only 2 wins.
All those losses.
Wisconsin and Penn State's Capital One in the Outback Bowl.
It's 7 tie-ins last year, and
Penn State beat Tennessee last year. Wisconsin over Arkansas. The other ones were all losses. And of course, the big one that everybody remembers was the shellacking Florida put on Ohio State. The Big Ten Bowl tie-ins, you see there are 7, including the Rose Bowl that we'll have for you, presented by Citi on January 1st. And they all start December 26th, the day after Christmas. Michigan State trying to become bowl eligible. Michigan thinking Rose Bowl. That's what's going on here in East Lansing today. This throw, and for the second time, Kellen Davis almost tipped a pass to himself. Incomplete. Chris Graham was draped all over him, though, and broke it up.
Davis looks like they work on this play a lot in practice because it's the second time this ball is thrown. Now look at, watch Davis now. Up over Graham, just tips the ball. This would have been a spectacular catch now.
You know, guys, after that opening drive where Michigan State had 3rd and 3 on the opening drive and picked it up, they have missed 8 straight since on 3rd down. Their 3rd down percentage is dipping quickly here in this first half. Bates now has to kick from his own 5. We keep punting back and forth. Somebody's going to break one. And Matthews going to go straight ahead with it. This might be the one. Matthews into Michigan State territory to the 41-yard line. 29-yard return on a 50-yard kick. So we were waiting for one of those to happen, and now Michigan, with 1 timeout, still has plenty of time remaining with 2 minutes and 3 seconds. So Michigan will take over.
All right, we got a tip. I would tip.
Oh, we're going to do our tip of the day.
Yeah, chipping. This is where
you're so anxious. We're going inside the game.
Man,
you're talking about chip blocks. We're going to talk about chip blocks.
Where the offensive tackle is going to get help either from the back behind him or the tight end.
Okay.
Now,
I'm the defensive
You're the
end.
defensive
Greasy is.
Okay, we're going to do the play. Then we're going to come back to you.
Come on, I can't wait to whack Greasy.
I know, because you like St. Deke and what he's done so far today. That's why you need some chip blocks sometimes as Henny goes out and goes complete. Okay. You got to get back in position. Okay, so at the snap, here we go. Here comes Grease.
Wait.
Hurry up. We got another play today.
All right, here, you take it. Now, if the tackle can't handle him, the back comes in, and he takes a piece.
There we go.
And then he moves to the outside, throw the ball to me,
there you go.
And then I catch the ball for the second touchdown of the game.
All right,
see?
so
you notice how that happened?
Grease got chip blocked.
Yeah, I got chipped.
Well, that's what they're trying to do to St. Deke, number 94 for Michigan State, because there is not one guy out there that's going to block him. He's on the side where Schilling is and not where Long is. 2nd down at 4. Hit as he throws his Henny, and Arrington's knee was already down on the catch. Let's do that again. You just want another piece of Bob. That time Baldwin is the guy that got to Chad Henne just when he let go of the football. Those 2 defensive ends for most of the season. St. Deke was atop the defensive leaderboard in kind of a point system that they have, that Pat Naruzzi has, the defensive coordinator. And he said Baldwin's played so well in the last few games, he's overtaken St. Deke atop that defensive board. Henne looks one way, comes back the other. Hit Manahan, and he's drilled as soon as he catches it. Michigan State's defense fired up right now. Chad Henne, you can see there's some grass stain on that jersey because they protected him pretty well enough to throw 2 touchdown passes, but he's taken some shots today as well.
A couple of weeks ago, this Michigan State defense at Ohio State got him going with a fumble recovery for a touchdown, an interception for a touchdown, got him back into the ball game. That might need what needs to be done here again today.
Exactly. Less than a minute remaining now as the Wolverines huddle around Lloyd Carr, their head coach, trying to win their 8th straight game. Take you back to this week in college football history. We're going to take you way back. 1884. The fields weren't uniform. They didn't even have lines on them the right way. Willis Terry of Yale ran 115 yards on a single play, and he didn't score. He was stopped short of the goal line, and he didn't score a touchdown. But if they had somebody like Colcrick, just hand it to Colcrick for the last couple.
He got hit by a car.
He ran into the parking lot. He couldn't find his way to the end zone. That's a good one. Well, Michigan, of course, if they can win out, they'd be going to the Rose Bowl. They still got work to do, though, at Wisconsin, and the big matchup with Ohio State.
There is a caveat to that now. Ooh. Michigan could lose here today.
And still
win next week and beat Ohio State and win the Big Ten and go to the Rose Bowl.
Well, they're going for it here. At least they appear to. They have Henne is going to be in shotgun. Is he? No? Yes.
4th down and 3. They need to get to the 31-yard line.
And Michigan State takes the timeout.
Well, right now, they're what they feel is outside their kicker's range. Yeah. And so on 4th down, they might as well try to do something.
And
here.
I like the call because it's worth going for it on 4th down. And if you don't make it, your defense has been playing so well.
Exactly.
I mean, you'd have them punt 7 straight times. So why not?
A reminder for you coming up this week, if you don't know, the CMA Awards, country music's biggest night, with performances by music's hottest stars, and for the first time ever, an exclusive award show performance by the Eagles. It's live Wednesday on ABC. And I gotta ask you guys something. We're always giving these great promos for all these shows we have on ABC. Why don't they ever send us some front row tickets to the CMA Awards? We get down there, Chesney and the boys, we sit down there.
Toby Keith, he'll send us some.
One of my old songs is up for award.
Kenny Chesney, he'll send us some tickets.
One of your old songs?
Yeah, Bridge Washed Out, I Can't Swim, and My Baby's on the Other Side. That's good.
Did you sing that to Beverly for the last 45 years?
Certainly.
Did you ever know that one? Rolling in my sweet baby's arms.
Greasy, you spent too many months in the hills, man. We got to get you out.
My wife ran off with my best friend, and I miss him. 4th down.
That's what makes country so good.
That's right.
Oh, yes, it is.
Your heart's as cold as my baked potato. 4th down and 3. Henne. Quick throw, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Otis Wiley. First mistake of the day for Michigan. But it doesn't cost them much if their defense plays like it has, as Bob said.
It's just like an incompletion because they're going to get the ball anyway, and that's about where they would have gotten it.
This is the 2nd straight play for Otis Wiley. He just made a great tackle, and now watch Otis Wiley on the interception, playing on the inside.
Yep.
You're right, though, Bob. It's just it's a turnover, but it's.
Otis Wiley was the guy that intercepted a couple of weeks ago against Ohio State, ran it in for a touchdown.
Yeah, it's his 4th of the year for Wiley. 4 wideouts, still 1 timeout remaining for Michigan State. Boy, if they could even get a field goal, they'd be happy. And Hoyer throwing deep sideline, got his man across the 50. Mark Dell makes a catch, 22-yard pickup. Clock will stop while they move the sticks. They're in Michigan territory again. Can they keep it going and get a score before the break? 48 seconds remaining in the half. They've got it at the 48-yard line. Here comes the pressure. Hoyer trying to roll away from it. Throws on the run. Incomplete. He maybe should have pulled that one down and run to the sideline and get what he could. He was trying to get it to his tight end, Kellen Davis.
I like the call. You had 3 receivers to the right. 2 of them went deep, and the 3rd inside one ran out, and you got your quarterback outside the pocket, which gives you more time and kind of mixes things up for that defensive pass rush.
He definitely got away from the heat that time by rolling to his rights. 2nd down at 10. Clock stopped 40 seconds, and again, the Spartans have 1 timeout remaining. Trailing 14-3 and trying to close the gap before halftime. Hoyer over the middle. Oh, wide open Davis. He threw it right over the head of the umpire, and then Davis sort of lost his balance and dropped it.
You know what happened on this play? Michigan didn't know where to line up. They were moving guys all over the place, and Michigan State took a quick snap. Now, you see the 2 guys are sitting there talking, saying, hey, you know what? We had no one covering the tight end, and no one was covering the guy on the wing on the outside. So they really screwed up their defense, and they had an opportunity, Michigan State, and didn't take.
And I think Brad hit it on the head. The umpire was right there, and if he hadn't ducked, he would have got hit right between the eyes.
3rd and 10. Hoyer, that one tips, incomplete, intended for Deion Curry, who got a hand on it. And again, now they got 4th down. They might as well try something here, I would think. 32 seconds left. Don't you try to go for it? I guess
I don't know. If
you try to punt.
No,
that's what you do.
I mean, you're only down as poorly as you've played. You're only down 14-3. And you don't want to help Michigan in case you don't make it here.
Michigan's out of timeouts. And Aaron Bates from behind him and from behind Sky Cam. 12th punt of the game. High snap. He handled it and he got it away.
Very inconsistent punter, Bates, the true freshman. Their punting is 108th in the country.
19 seconds left here as we check in with Matt Weiner in New York. Matt.
All right, Brad, Kansas lapped Nebraska this afternoon, and Todd Reesing was the guy with his foot on the gas. A school record 6 touchdown passes as KU scores 76. It's most ever in a conference game, and the most the Huskers have ever allowed. To cast your vote, text the word VOTE to 87654 on your AT&T wireless telephone.
Wow. Kansas, their best start since, I don't know, 1903 or something like that to start with, and they tacked 76 on the Cornhuskers.
Yeah, you can say a lot of good things about Mangino and Kansas, and I think you can say that Nebraska and Tom Osborne, that program is in flux, and after the season, they're going to sit down and talk about what to do.
Yes, they will. So an upset Coach D'Antonio. He wanted more out of his team, that's for sure, in the first half. But as Bob said, they only trail by 14-3 is our halftime score. Coming up, the Capital One halftime report. John and Craig will have all the highlights and scores for you after this.
This is the Capital One halftime report as Chad Henne has stayed healthy enough to hit Mario Manningham here for a touchdown. Great pitch and toss right there. Michigan up 14-3 at halftime. John Saunders alongside of Craig James, and that was a question mark really going into the game whether or not Henne and Hart were healthy enough to carry them through this one.
Well, Hart's showing that he is, and he has continued to have success against Michigan State's defense, over 100 yards rushing. But this, I was trying to figure it out. Something about watching the game just wasn't right for Michigan State. And I was going to say missed opportunities. It's the penalties. 14 penalties over 100 yards. You can't have consistency when you're doing that. And I think a lot of that comes from the fact that Michigan's just a good football team. Michigan's out there putting pressure on Michigan State, and they're making mistakes.
This would be 8 in a row for Michigan, and if they make it 9 in a row next week, then Ohio State Buckeyes, the #1 team in the nation. It could come to that. Final game of the season it would be, but Ohio State would have to get past Wisconsin first. Tyler Donovan, 2-yard pass to Chris Presley here. Nice job done by their offense.
They had to do this, throw the ball in the red zone because P.J. Hill was not in the game, but Ohio State, Chris Wells, Beanie, the big fella, 3 touchdown runs today. Brett Bielema, I spoke to him last night. He wasn't expecting to have Beanie Wells get off on him, I guarantee you.
Well, he did. Watch the sidestep move there, and then he goes 30 yards for the touchdown. Todd Beckman is getting no love at all for the Heisman, but what a season he's having.
Well, it's not too late to get in the dance, is it?
No, it's not.
I mean, they just started the music for the Heisman.
Georgia facing Troy. No Sean Marino. 80 yards on this run.
All right, now you know what? This is the first freshman in Georgia to run for 1,000 yards since.
Oh, let me guess. Herschel Walker?
Good job, Herschel. Hey, we got a tip-off on that. Benny told us, watch out for Marino this year. Sure enough, 1,000 yards.
Matthew Stafford, 22 yards to Trip Chandler. Georgia was up by a touchdown, and then Marino again from a yard out.
Well, Matt Stafford had a nice day throwing the football, and they hung on and won. Troy came in firing it away, but Georgia recovered after a big win last week.
Texas against Oklahoma State. Colt McCoy picked off by Jacob Lacey, returns 39 yards.
This at Oklahoma State, I thought that Oklahoma State would win this game. It was 21-0 before the Longhorns even woke up.
Zach Robinson goes one way, it's not there. Goes the other way, 7 yards. But then Jamal Charles still continuing from the game against Nebraska a week ago.
Very nice move, middle of the field. This is what they have to do. They have to run the football, man. You know what? Oklahoma State's got a powerful offense, and they've got to find a way at Texas to get Charles in the game.
Texas, Colt McCoy had such a wonderful season last year. What's gone wrong this year?
I think he outthunk himself. I really do. He put so much pressure on himself to have a great season this year. Worked hard in the offseason, put on weight, and really wanted to come back and win a national championship. And sometimes you just try too hard.
All right. South Florida, of course, has a couple of losses. They've dropped from being #2 in the BCS at one point, facing Cincinnati here. Matt Grothe gets picked off by Matt Mickens, who returns at 79 yards.
Mickens and this defense of the Bearcats, they're tough, they're smart, and they're fast. Grothe, here's a guy that was on the Heisman list a few weeks ago, and all of a sudden this team is falling apart.
Ben Mock here, 16 yards to Dominic Goodman. They were scoring early and often.
Remember, Ben Mock was at Wake Forest, had the medical transfer. He's like a 16th-year senior, and he's having fun this year.
31-17. San Jose State and Boise State. Jeremy Avery, 37-yard touchdown run on the carpet.
Wow, looks like we need to adjust our TV color, doesn't it?
The blue carpet always gets you. Taylor Tharp, 44-yard touchdown pass to Ryan Putman.
Yeah, and Boise State, they need to keep rolling along because Hawaii needs a very strong Boise State at the end of the season for props.
If Hawaii wants to move up, that's a Boise State team they have to beat. 28-7 is the lead. Auburn all over Tennessee Tech, 35-3. And Navy and Notre Dame, this is 21-20. And the reason it's a one-point game is because Navy doinked an extra point. 43 consecutive games Notre Dame has won over Navy.
They're still beating them. You know what? Everybody thought Navy had a chance this year, and sure enough, miss an extra point.
All right, LSU against Alabama, a game that if you're an LSU fan, you've been pointing on the calendar for 10 months ever since Nick Saban left the Miami Dolphins after leaving LSU to go to Alabama. 3-0.
Man, it's a barn burner.
Stick around. Coming up, we have more scores and highlights, including a score you will not believe. This is the Capital One Halftime Report. John Saunders alongside of Craig James. And we begin our no-huddle highlights in territory that Nebraska has never gone before. On the road at Kansas today, Todd Reesing, 5 yards to Marcus Henry. Reesing had 6 touchdown passes today. That's a school record.
You know what, Reesing, this offense, they ran the ball, they threw the ball, Brandon McAnderson, like he did in College Station last week, again, strong on the ground. But Reesing's ability to be efficient and distribute the football everywhere is what Mark Mangino likes so much about his football team.
We'll talk more about them later. Vanderbilt in Florida. Percy Harvin, 18 yards. He had 9 catches for 110, 11 rushes for 113.
This had all the earmarkings of a game where Florida could be in trouble because of coming off the emotional loss last week with Georgia. But this is a game where Tim Tebow put the cape back on, big numbers throwing it.
Wake Forest in Virginia. Virginia has been living on the edge all season. Riley Skinner, 13 yards to Kenneth Moore. Wake Forest has the lead. But Michael Simpson will go for 2 yards on a touchdown run. He had 112 all-purpose to take the lead.
Again, this is Virginia, fourth quarter, comebacks, fourth quarter. It's something that happens for both Wake Forest and for Virginia. Wake Forest, they try to line up to kick it with time expiring to win the game. They come up short.
Sam Swank just could not hook that one in. Clemson against Duke. This one was no matchup as you would expect. Cullen Harper, 19 yards to Aaron Kelly. Great pass.
But, you know, you have to always remember, when you're playing Duke, you be nice to them because they're going to be your employer one day. Right?
Or your lawyer or your doctor or something. James Davis, 70-yard touchdown run here.
Davis won't get any representation down the road. He had a great day. Clemson's one of those teams, I'm telling you, they can be really good when they're on. If they're not, they can be really average.
Big Ten, Purdue and Penn State. Penn State coming off the loss to Ohio State, and Derek Williams, 12 yards on the reverse. Penn State gets the win. But, again, I have to go back to that Nebraska game. The 76 points is the most they have ever given up. Already this year, they've given up more points than they have ever given up in an entire season. Embarrassed by a very good Kansas team. The days are numbered for Callahan. I'm surprised that he might not go after this game.
Well, you know what? 3 years ago, we had 23 different coaches changes. So that's coming around again. I don't know if we'll have 23, but you and I both know that when you lose like this and you're really on thin ice already, Callahan might not make it till the end of the season. And let me tell you what Tom Osborne really has to consider is the fact that there are other schools out there who are all lobbying and working behind the scenes right now. It's heavy, man. You talk to agents. I talk to them all the time. There's a lot of posturing going on. Osborne's got to make sure that he's not left out by a late decision.
Mark Mangino, meanwhile, 9-0, looking to go 10-0 at Oklahoma State next week. This is the Capital One Halftime Report.
The Capital One Halftime Report, brought to you by Capital One, always providing you with great value without the hassle for your financial needs. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Tonight, Saturday night football. Some of you in the Pac-10, Oregon State against USC. Some will be in the Big 12. Oklahoma looking to climb as they face Texas A&M, or the big one up in Boston, the #2 team in the BCS standing. Boston College will look to stay that way against Florida State. They'll do it in windy and rainy conditions. The end of a nor'easter streaking through Boston and streaking through the house that Flutie built. That's right, Doug Flutie, Heisman Trophy winner. Matt Ryan trying to do the same this year. Now, normally, John Saunders and Craig James are joined by Doug Flutie right here in the studio.
But you notice something different about this? I moved over towards Flutie's seat, and man, Doug, things get cloudy over here.
It's all that smoke, that ventilation coming in from outside on my side of the table there, Craig.
You know, more important about the cloudiness, is it going to be really, really as bad as everyone expects up there tonight?
Right now it's not, but it's slowly getting a little worse. It's supposed to be 25 to 35 mile an hour winds later with potential for 40 mile an hour, and it's definitely going to be raining. It will affect the game. There's no doubt about it.
Doug, we were in Blacksburg last week at Lane Stadium, and Matt Ryan, when he came back and led the team to victory, do you sense that maybe Matt and those guys might be a little too overconfident perhaps for this game?
No, not at all. You know, they know how close it was last week. They had a battle with UMass earlier in the year. So they know they've got to play their best football to win. I think what it does is give you confidence at the end of game situations when you're behind. And Matt Ryan has carried this team on his shoulders in that situation a number of times, and they lean on him, and he comes through.
All right, Doug, enjoy the game, and just remember the rule. There's no cheering in the press box.
You got it.
Hey, Doug, we're sending you the bill for tonight's dinner.
Stick around. Your second half is getting ready to come up. This is ESPN on ABC.
Some of the great shots from the first half here in East Lansing at a sold-out Spartan Stadium. ESPN's College Football on ABC, presented by Best Buy. Just about set for the start of the third quarter. It's 12th ranked Michigan, number 14, Michigan State 3. Welcome back, everybody. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, Bonnie Bernstein will join us just a second. I guess stories. Can Michigan State get something going offensively, and the continued health of Henne and Hart questionable maybe?
Well, coming in, I'm impressed with what Henne has done, and I think Hart is played very well. Michigan State has to get the ball to Ringer through the air and to Thomas to move. I don't think Michigan's will let him run the football.
I just don't like the way the play calling has been for Michigan State in this first half. You know, they are not throwing the ball very well. They have not gotten a lucky bounce on anything that they've done. I think I agree with Bob. They have to go back to Ringer and just say, hey, look, we're going to pound this guy at you for a while just to see what happens.
Hart had almost 100 yards in the first half. Will he play in the second half is the question. Bonnie, do you have an answer for us?
Well, I just talked to Lloyd Carr, and he says, yes, in fact, Mike will play. Hart was very adamant he wanted to continue to play. Lloyd said he did not get any sort of painkiller at halftime, but he is going to watch every rep that Hart gets. And if it looks like he's just limping too much, keep in mind, guys, they're at Wisconsin next week. They finish the season as they always do at Ohio State. So you don't want to run Hart too much, only to risk him for the rest of the Big Ten season.
Some big games lie ahead.
And those are the games they need to win.
Right.
Let us repeat this. Of course, Michigan wants to win this game. They want to win it in the worst way. But they can lose this game and win next week at Wisconsin and then home against Ohio State and accomplish what they want by winning the Big Ten, going to the Rose Bowl, and beating Ohio State.
And it would take all of that 0-2 start and fly it right out the window. Well, we got a half left here and then 2 more weeks for Lloyd Carr's Wolverines. They'll get the football first to start the second.
I guess what I was saying is maybe Lloyd might think about resting his guys, Hart and Henne, and saving them for next week and the week after. But he wants to win this game first.
Very short kick taken at the 15 by Carlos Brown. And at least on those short kicks, they cover them pretty well, Michigan State does. And he only got out to about the 32-yard line. Our Pacific Life game summary. Statistically, when you start talking about this game, if you looked at the passing yardage for Michigan, you'd probably think they were behind The rushing yards for Michigan State, 15 yards. Look at the 9 possessions and how many 3-and-outs we've had. But, of course, Chad Henne threw 2 touchdown passes that were set up by long runs by Mike Hart. That's about it for the offense for either team. And Mike starts off the third quarter on the sideline.
Henne has 75 yards passing. There's a look at Hart.
And minor gain of about a yard, maybe. Eric Gordon made the stop. Mike's over there pacing that sideline. He's got the chin straps for the most part ready to go. And he's still cheerleading when he's not on the field. And he's been doing it in street clothes or sweats for the last 2 weeks. But he was a major contributor with 37 and 32-yard runs that set up touchdowns in the first half. Second down along 9. 3 wide receiver group for Chad Henne in the shotgun. Keeps it on the ground. Minor almost dropped the ball and then cuts it outside. And he's out to about the 37-yard line. For those of you that maybe didn't see the first half, Mike Hart came out. What a great move that was in the hole. Then he took it 37 yards down to the 11. And then on a play where it looked like he was bottled up, he just kept working it, a 32-yard gain. And that set up another Chad Henne touchdown, that one to Carson Butler. But that's where his right ankle kind of got re-rolled up on. They got about 20 yards of tape on that right ankle right now. Halftime adjustments, more Hart, maybe. And Michigan State got to get it to Devin Thomas and Ringer somehow. Flags are down as the pass is incomplete on third down. If this is against Michigan, they'll have to give it up.
Well, I like what in the opening of this game when Bob sat there and said the heart of Michigan's defense is, or Michigan's football team is Hart, and it's so true. I mean, without this guy, you know, he leads them by example on the field.
And they will have to punt, so that's a good stop for Michigan State's defense. Michigan's opening possession.
Offense number 85. Penalty's been declined. 4th down.
Carson Butler, the tight end, caught with a holding call, declined obviously to force the punts.
These teams have not combined to be very effective on third downs. They're now 2 of 18 on third down conversions.
Wow. That's terrible.
Well, I think that Michigan State, I mean, to turn this game around, they have to do something in this series. And I know there's a whole half, but this is very important to them.
You look from behind, Mesko to punt. Hangs it a mile high. Love waits on it from the 18. And only got to the 25-yard line. So we check in what Mark D'Antonio may have told Bonnie. Bonnie?
I don't think I'm the only one wondering why the running game didn't get going. And so I asked D'Antonio, I said, was that the intention? He said, no, we're trying to run the ball. It's just that they've been killing us at the point of attack. And one of the things that Lloyd Carr said to me is that he's really happy with the way Michigan has been switching up their defensive fronts on first down when they've been trying to run the ball. But 14 times for 15 yards in the first half. Remember that some of that's negated by the sacks, but you know, that's not what D'Antonio's looking for, and they are going to stick with the run.
See what they do here on first down at the 25. About a 2-yard gain for Javon Ringer.
You know, first 2 games of the year, Michigan defensively did not play very well.
Playing against the spread offense.
Appalachian State and Oregon, both spread offenses. 4 wide receivers, quarterback and shotgun, a guy that can run the ball as well as pass. That is not Michigan's defensive forte. They were missing a lot of guys off of last year's teams that went to the NFL. Since then, this defense has been very, very good and has not allowed many teams to run on it.
This time Colquitt gets a little something going because of his size. He moves the pile out to the 34. Pickup of 6.
Colquitt's 255 pounds, and when he lays it on you, man, I'm going to tell you something. You talk about something moving the pile, he moves the pile.
That's Ron English you're looking at right there, the defensive coordinator to Lloyd Carr's left. Ron, I know earlier in the year we were at Michigan 3 straight weeks, and he was not happy in our meetings. The face was long and frowned, and it got a little bit lighter and a little bigger smile every week, and now they've run off 7 straight. As Bob said, the defense is really gelled. Big third down here. Colquitt got it. Not by much, but they'll take it, and they move the sticks And as Paul said, an important drive for the Michigan State Spartans on their opening offensive series here in the third quarter.
Michigan State on their first drive of the game had 56 yards. Since that time, they had only had 19 yards on the next 8 drives, so they had not done anything. Now they need to get something started here the first drive of the second half.
Ringer back in, Kalkrick out. 2 tight end set as Ringer in the middle of the pack. It's positive yardage again. So finally it's starting to work a little bit on this series on the ground as he picked up 6.
But you notice with Michigan's defense, and you guys were talking about the first 2 weeks, not even there. But now what they're doing, these guys are staying home. They are playing disciplined defense. You don't see guys from the left running all the way to the right. They're waiting because you've got a guy like Ringer that is going to cut it back if he gets a chance. They just have people waiting at home.
4 straight runs now. They bring in Hawken, the fullback, and it's Kalkrick the tail again. They continue to switch the big guy and the speedier guy. Thunder and lightning, as Paul called him, and Brian Hoyer called him as well. To the 44-yard line.
There's a look at the true freshman, Donovan Warren. He's playing a cornerback. True freshman playing cornerback for Michigan. Now, if I was an offensive team with a guy like Devin Thomas, I'd make sure that my big play receiver could get on him and throw at him 4 or 5 times a game. Now, Donovan Warren, he's playing over there because he's pretty good. They've had some other guys over there in the past that have played that position that have gone on to the NFL.
Kalkrick looks like he got a first down.
Those have been Leon Hall, Marlon Jackson, Charles Woodson, and Ty Law. So freshman playing corner for Michigan, been pretty good.
Yep, that's not a rarity, including one that won the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, we just wonder if Warren is going to be one of those type guys.
I'm talking with Don Treadwell, the offensive coordinator for Michigan State. He said, yeah, you know, he's a freshman, but we're 10 games into the season. He's not so fresh anymore.
That's right.
First down. So on the ground, they continue to do it. Now they set up Thomas in the backfield. They fake it to him. Hoyer's got a man open in the middle and got him inside the 35. Kellen Davis. Wide open Kellen Davis. And if Hoyer could have gotten a little more on it and Davis could have kept his footing, I think it could have been a touchdown.
Oh, you're so true, Brad. He was wide open. Take a look at this. Right here. Now, just get the ball to him. Give it a little air.
You know why he was so wide open is because they ran the ball, 6 or 7 straight times, and they ran a little play action, and he's down the middle by himself.
Yeah. 2 tight ends in again. And here's the toss to Ringer.
I like this.
Ringer, nice spin move inside the 30, down to the 22-yard line. As we check in, get an SEC update. Here's Matt Weiner in New York.
That's right, Brad. First place in the SEC West up for grabs in Tuscaloosa. LSU picked off John Parker Wilson 3 plays later. Matt Flynn to early Doucette, the little receiver's screen. It's 10-3 there. Notre Dame's 43-game win streak over Navy is, well, it's in jeopardy. 28 all middies have the ball late.
Well, Coach Johnson might pull a stunner there.
Be a huge win for Navy.
Sure would. Second down and less than a yard. Kalkrick, first down. Michigan State's best drive since the opening drive of the ball game has them inside the Michigan 20-yard line.
You know, I say this every single game when teams run the football. And the offensive lineman, Bob, as you know, would rather run the ball than pass the ball. And what happened in the first half, these guys got embarrassed because they were getting knocked back and they couldn't open up a hole. And you take a look at this drive here. They have just blown Michigan off the ball every single play.
Michigan State's leaders, Ringer leading, but Kalkrick in there right now has been gaining yardage. Here he is again. Kalkrick cartwheels inside the 10.
Ball came out.
No, he was down. Because he was tackled, and when he came down on the ground, the ball came out as he hit.
And Engelman, the guy that tackled him, slow getting up.
Well, you're hitting a guy that's 255 pounds, Bob. I mean, this guy here, take a look at Kalkrick coming in here. Here comes Engelman in now to hit underneath. He hits him, gets hit in the head. Now, see, the ball comes out when he hits the ground. That is not a fumble, nor will it ever be.
And Engelman got the knee right in the helmet when he made the tackle, and he's still down at the 10-yard line.
Why are you looking at me funny, bro?
You guys always look at each other funny. What's the difference?
Obviously, it was a lucky call. Couldn't see that ball come out that quick, could you?
Brandon Engelman, the guy that's down, came in with already a career high in season tackles. He's a leading tackler for Michigan, including that last one seconds ago. Bringing it look like he's going to be okay. We'll be right back. During the timeout, the entire Michigan State team came out to kind of fire up their offense. Almost a Mark Richt at University of Georgia type thing that occurred last week against Florida. Now they set up shop, second down, inside the Michigan 10. They got 45 rushing yards on this drive. Ringer trying to get a couple more, and they had only 15 rushing yards in the first half. So they finally got it going here a little bit on this drive. Reminder, near the conclusion of our game today, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevy will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Here's the biggest third down of the day, fellas.
Yep.
Colcrick in the game. Well, I wonder who's getting the ball.
Well, on 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2 on this drive, number 30 has carried the mail.
Now
Let's see if he gets it again.
Yeah, he's already made the decision to go for it on 4th down or not if they don't make it here.
Colcrick cuts back in the hole. Boy, his second effort after he got hit is the thing that got him the first down.
Yeah. Well, think about this guy now. He's 6 foot tall. He weighs 255 pounds. And look at the footwork that he has. He has outstanding feet for a big man. Watch, boom, that back into the inside, and it picks up the first down. That was nice.
Graham was right through the linebacker, right through into the backfield, and Colcrick missed the tackle, avoided him, got the first down.
Michigan trying to change up their defense. They better hustle, Michigan State, and they're still running guys on and off the field. They finally clear it.
They don't have enough guys on the field.
Here's a power eye, full house backfield look. And putting his shoulder down is Colcrick, and he almost got to the goal line, down to the 1-yard line. And Colcrick, just as Paul was talking about, he says his footwork's pretty good for a big guy.
Good footwork and also vision. You know, you need to be able to see what's out there. You need to see, you need peripheral vision as well as, you know, to see, you know, where defenders are coming from.
You're right, Paul. Michigan only had 10 players on the field because one just came on during that soundbite.
Power eye, Colcrick bangs into the middle. Did he get there? His players are saying he did. The officials are not. Anson Campbell in there to help out on the stop. Now they say touchdown. His 17th of the year. What a drive by Michigan State when they desperately needed it. Number 30 provided the touchdown.
Right up the gut. Look at this guy. Bam!
Boy, they waited a long time to make the call, but he's in, and then Michigan State is right back in the game.
15 plays, 13 runs, 2 passes.
Now this one is going to be reviewed right now.
You know, this guy's got 17 touchdowns. Now, if this one stands, and look at this. His longest touchdown is 42 yards. That's one. The other was 16, or a total of 36 yards. I mean, that's unbelievable.
We get another look at what we think is a 1-yard touchdown plunge.
All it has to do is the ball has to break the plane or just touch the plane. Now, does the ball do that? He's really not down. He's on the top of that pile.
It's kind of tough. The guys that make that call are the head linesman and the line judge that are lined up over here on the side. The easiest guy to make it would be the umpire, who is standing in the end zone.
See, he's not down
yet.
He's laying on the body.
He's still on the butt of somebody else, one of his players, and
there
then goes forward, backpedaling. He's doing a little bit of a crab walk there at the very end of the play that might have got him the touchdown.
That's Andino, the tight end, that kind of moves him in.
And the official review continues. Will it be the 17th touchdown of the year for J.U. Colcrick or not.
The only thing that would stop that is if the officials would say I blew the whistle. You know, then that he was down, but I didn't hear a whistle. Touchdown. It's a touchdown. Yeah, he was still moving. He was never on the ground.
Caps a 75-yard drive and 14 impressive plays. And almost 7 minutes to do it. And right back in the thick against their arch rivals from Ann Arbor now as the extra point. Brett Swenson coming up. And it's up and good. Now we got a ball game, fellas. 14-10. Number 12 Michigan clinging to the lead now in the third quarter.
This presentation of college football brought to you by Saturn. With 5 totally new models, it's just something to rethink about. Saturn. DLP HD TV. DLP is the official ESPN on ABC HD telecast sponsor of college football. And John Hancock. The future is yours.
Student newspaper battle going on every year. Michigan State News and University of Michigan's Michigan Daily battle it out for bragging rights on the playing field. Starts out as touch football, and then it gets kind of rough. Michigan a winner, 10 touchdowns to 7, we understand, in that game. Here it's 14-10. 2 touchdowns to 1 and a field goal in the real thing. Last drive, 75 yards, a classic in 14 plays. J.U. Colcrick 3 for 3 on third down conversions, including the 1-yard touchdown run.
Only 1 pass in that whole drive.
And that was a one that could have been maybe a touchdown all by itself had Hoyer gotten a little more on it out to his tight end. Carlos Brown waiting on the kick. The kicks have been high and short, but covered very well so far today. This one's deeper. Goes down to the 3 to Brown. And Brown across the 20, puts a move on, hit, bounced off it. Great return, really, out to the 35-yard line. Let's check in with Bonnie. She's got a special guest.
Tom Izzo is Michigan State's basketball coach, but he's about as knowledgeable of a football person as you're going to find. Your thoughts on State coming out in the second half with the run game?
Well, I think that's what Mark's trying to do. You know, this team has never died this year. They've kept building, coming back, and he wants to do it with a power game, smash mouth football, and that's what they did, and we got ourselves a ball game.
Your friendship with D'Antonio goes back 12 years from, you know, when he was coaching defense here. What do you know about his personality that you think will help this program evolve?
Well, you know, he's a great recruiter, but I think what he is a great character guy, and he wants to get character guys with him, and I really love the guy. I think he's got a lot of possibilities to get this program going. We just got to give him some time.
Let's talk about your basketball team. You got Drew Neitzel. All your starters are back, ranked 8th in the polls. How do we see your club doing in the Big Ten?
Well, considering we couldn't win our exhibition game, I question, but I appreciate you not bringing that up too much. But, you know, I think we got a chance to be a real good basketball team. We got everybody back, and we got some good young kids that are going to really help us. But now we just got to adjust and get everybody on the same page, and I think that'll happen.
I have a feeling Ness is going to get the call on a couple of those games. Tom, thank you.
Well, Coach Izzo, one of the best around, and they're the preseason pick by the Big Ten writers to take the Big Ten crown. You saw during Coach Izzo and Bonnie's discussion, Chad Henne was about 2 inches away from hooking up with Mario Manningham on a 65-yard touchdown pass, but finally something's going right for Michigan State, not only offensively, but that wasn't a touchdown, and now they got a 3rd down and long here. And Mike Hart knows that he's got to come back in because Michigan's got to keep on pushing if they're going to win this football game.
Michigan only won the first half, and Michigan State lost the first half, but that doesn't say who wins the ball game. You got to come out and play the second half.
3rd down and a long 9. Manningham trots way out to the top of your screen. Henne in the shotgun, comes up to have a word with his offensive line. Timeout taken. The crowd, I think, got a little bit to Michigan there, too. And now they're really going to get loud. Timeout, 5:28 to go, 3rd quarter here in the Big Ten. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC, presented by Best Buy. 14-10, 3rd and 9, Michigan. We'll let the crowd let you know if the Wolverines get it here.
St. Pete. This, I'm telling you, they're Schilling, number 52, and you can't do it.
They should have used our chip drill. That's his 10th sack of the year.
Exactly. Watch him, number 94 on the top of the screen. Schilling is 52, the right tackle. Watch this. You know what? He'll go back inside now. Back inside and then make the play. This is the coverage sack also.
And the reaction from Plaxico Burress, yeah, baby.
Is that any good?
One of our officials is down on the play.
This is a tough game.
And the trainers for both teams out there, and it's our head linesman. As you look in at Spartan Stadium, our great views from atop Spartan Stadium provided by the Bloomin' Onion One. Captain Andrea Daling at the helm, giving us great shots. And now the entire stadium pretty much in shadows. There's only a few sections where people aren't starting to shiver a little bit. Mike Dulcie, our head linesman, is the guy that is coming off to the sideline. And we might be an official short.
I was down talking to the officials before the game, and they have an alternate that is here. And if they want, they can put him into service.
Janal St. Dick, another sack today. His 10th of the season, has put Michigan in a punting situation and has put the crowd in a bit of a frenzy. Mesko to punt. Again, not a great punt. Love trying to clear people out of the way. Now he's going to take it on the hop. Giving some ground, looking for some help. And run down at the 28-yard line. As we check in New York, here's Matt Weiner. Matt.
Hi, Brad. The plot of the LSU-Alabama game is the division lead in the West. The subplot is Nick Saban facing a bunch of his former players, including Jacob Hester, who bowls his way in from a yard out. 17-3 there. Navy and Notre Dame have now gone to overtime in South Bend.
Overtime.
Overtime in South Bend.
That's a win. In itself, it's a win.
Well, here it's 12th ranked Michigan, trying to hold on to that ranking, trying to stay in the Rose Bowl hunt. Now they got their hands full with Michigan State, who scored on their last drive, covering 75 yards. Let's see if they can do the same thing again. They go on the pitch to Ringer, and Ringer goes out to the 36-yard line. The last drive for Michigan State was their most impressive of the ball game. They started going wide with Ringer, and they came back with the big hoss, Colquitt, who started chewing up yards on the inside. And then on 3 third downs, Colquitt took it for a first down, including the old crab walk in for the touchdown from a yard out. And now they're on the drive again with an opportunity to regain the lead.
Michigan State's almost got as much yardage this half as they in one drive as they did the entire first half.
That's right. We have still 4:42 left in the third quarter. Hoyer looks one way, comes back the other, and incomplete. Warren, nice coverage on Mark Dell.
There's a late flag.
Late flag.
But I'll tell you what, the official, dude, he just couldn't get the flag out of his pants pocket or wherever he had it. He was pulling and pulling and pulling. And it looked like a late flag, but it really wasn't. He was trying to get it out much, much sooner.
We're not hearing Limonier, our referee, right now.
I'd love to have a shot of this official trying to get this flag out.
That's a guy there in the back. Yes. There he is, right there. The guy right there.
All right.
Now, watch.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
Oh.
Do we have it?
Whoop.
There
we go. He's left-handed. That's why the problem. He had it in the wrong pocket.
McGuire's right again. I mean,
2 weeks in a row, I had it right.
Now, how could you see that from here?
I look at the game, Bob.
First down. Michigan State back in Michigan territory. Ringer moving the pile. Right now, Michigan State's offensive line is winning the battle of the trenches.
Do you feel the momentum changing a little bit here?
We'll have some momentum going on tonight in college football. Our Saturday night action. A lot of you will see BC take on Florida State. Others, Texas A&M and Oklahoma, or maybe USC and Oregon State. Check your local listings for the game in your area. It's Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines, 8 o'clock Eastern on ABC, including the number 2 team in the country. Here, number 12, all of a sudden, has got their hands full in their 100th meeting with their in-state rivals. J.U. Kolkrick on the toss, and Michigan waiting for him that time.
Yeah,
nice
that
job
toss.
defensively.
Yeah, they've tried that toss a couple of times, and that was one of the plays that worked in that first possession of the second half. There's a man that's calling the plays, Don Treadwell, the offensive coordinator. Whatever he said to him, Don, at halftime, keep it up.
That's right, it's
because
working.
it's working.
Somebody made that offensive line awfully mad.
And you see Don from behind, and you see what he sees from the coach's box, which is about the same view we have, only I'm on about the 46, and Grease is on about the 50, and Paul's on about the other 46. 3rd down and 8. Hoyer needs this one. Throws, completes. Not going to be a first down, though, I don't think. About a yard short. Got it out to Deion Curry.
Do you go? Do you go?
Big time throw by Hoyer. He got leveled.
Will Johnson let him have it when he let go of the ball.
4th down.
Of course, everybody wants him to go for it. I think they're going to go for it.
It's over 2 yards.
They're going to bring in number 30. They're going to bring in every tight end they can find, including the ones they've recruited for 2010. They're going to load up the line and see what they can do.
Well, a lot of things you can do here first. You can go and try to pull them off sides.
Yep.
You can have a trick play, or you can go for it. Snap the ball.
The coaches called timeout for Michigan State.
Well, you know that they just want to see what the defense was going to be. Now they can maybe have a play called to throw it one-on-one on the outside guy.
So now they're talking over with their head coach, Mark D'Antonio, on the sideline. 3:16 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Reminder, tonight on ESPN at 6:40. It'll be the Sun Devils of Arizona State. Rudy Carpenter, their quarterback, doing a nice job. They're trying to stay undefeated. And they need to shut down Heisman candidate Dennis Dixon, who we saw chew up Michigan early in the season. Oregon and Arizona State college football primetime presented by Hampton Hotels. It's on ESPN at 6:40 Eastern time tonight. They're about 35 minutes from kicking that off.
Most impressive team that I think I've seen this year is Oregon. They played Michigan, 2nd game of the year.
When we saw them, they were perfect almost.
Exactly. And then Ohio State. We've seen them a couple weeks ago against Michigan State, and I saw them on TV a few times. I'd say right now that those two teams are the most impressive that I've seen.
Ohio State had a whole handful. They trailed Wisconsin in that ball game, and all of a sudden they just got everything going right, and Wisconsin sort of imploded. And Ohio State, if you don't know, got their 10th victory today over the Badgers.
In Michigan State, they haven't thrown the ball to Devin Thomas in the last 4 series.
Now Bates is into punt, but J.U. Kolkrick, I want to remind you, is the middle guy in the protection scheme on 4th down here. They'll snap it, and Bates will kick it. And did he get too much of it? Well, it's tipped. No. They got it down at the 1. Kendall Davis Clark made a great play in the end zone, and that's the 3rd time Michigan State is going to pin Michigan inside the 10-yard line on a kick.
That was one great play. It looked like he didn't know where the ball was, and it just kind of hit him. Well, he did see it. Now the rule is the player can be in the end zone in college as long as the ball does not break the plane of the goal line.
You think that's a happy punter? And now it looks like a pretty good choice how to not go for it on 4th down, because Michigan is 99 yards and 1 foot away from the Michigan State end zone, and now it's going to get noisy down there.
The momentum of this game has changed 180 degrees since halftime.
Mike Hart is about 7 yards deep as the tailback for Michigan. Here he comes. Hit at the goal line, bounced off, got a little bit. Not much, though.
And why not give the ball to the guy that Bob was talking about earlier? How many times has he carried the ball without a fumble? I mean, here's the guy you really want sure hands with down there, and that's Hart.
I think Mike wants to get himself out of there. He does.
Yeah.
They bring in Minor.
Yeah, he was asking to come out.
Yep.
Yeah, he's limping again on that sideline. That leg is tired and hurts.
Now do you take a shot from your own end zone to just try to get some room out there? Henne under center. 2nd down and 9 from the 2. And here it comes, a throw by Henne. Deep. Manningham made the catch. And they're looking Michigan State for a flag because they thought Manningham pushed off.
This is about the 4th or 5th time that Henney has thrown deep to Manningham in this ball game, and the first time that he's connected. Up here at the top, it's just going to go straight down the field. Single coverage. Just throw it up and let my guy out-catch your guy.
You saw it about the 39-yard line. Was that a little left hand out there?
Well, they were both touching each other. I think that was a good call. I really do. I don't think we pushed off.
You guys change on every play. They're all the same. They've all been the same.
If they're both doing it, it isn't a penalty.
And he going deep now the other way. This one just overshot Mario Manningham again. That might have been a touchdown if he'd have just pulled a string a little bit. That 47-yarder on the previous play is the longest pass play against Michigan State this year.
You know, coming into the game, it was not known whether Henney was going to play or not. He did not practice a lot this week. The fact of the matter is that he's a fourth-year senior and has played. He has started, what? This is his, I'm looking, 44th. His 44th start.
He's 31-12.
So he doesn't have to practice there all the week to be able to come in and do what he's doing.
Minor cuts back into the middle of the field, changed hands on the football, and got to about the 48 of Michigan State.
You know what, Ness, I love it when a guy changes directions and then two guys whack him. I mean, Minor did. He was doing some footwork, and then all of a sudden he was going to take a left, and bam, he got nailed.
Well, this is a third down situation again where Michigan is 1 out of 9 today, and they have not picked one up in their last 6 tries. Again, the crowd trying to come to life. The green and white Spartan defense hoping to get another stop on Michigan after they had them pinned at their own 1-yard line. 3rd down and 7. They got to get to the 41, the Wolverines. Henney in trouble. Got hit as he threw, and it's incomplete, and it's Jamal St. Deek that got him again.
Boy, they did a twist move in the line of scrimmage because Jamal St. Deek came up in the middle of the field. He didn't come up from the outside. You're going to see him.
He's going to loop around right there.
He's going to loop around right here. Here he comes 94, and no one touched him. Wow.
What Michigan did do, though, is with that long pass play, change the field position again.
For sure.
And now Mesko would like to drop one inside the Spartan 10.
And the wind is blowing from left to right, so everybody that's punting to our left is putting into that wind.
And fair catch at about the 17-yard line. Could have been worse, but Love makes the fair catch. Michigan State takes over again with less than a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. And Jamal St. Deek, born in Haiti. They call him the sack master. We know why. Moved to the United States when he was 4, and he has been a terror this year. 10 sacks on the season.
Wasn't that a great move, Ness? I mean, to set up on the outside. Now watch this. He's going to come all the way up over the center.
And Chad never had a chance, and he's going to have a whiplash from that one. He pats him on the head. That's good.
I figured you'd be here eventually.
Yeah, I knew I'd see you again. Here's Hoyer, completes it out. Devin Thomas hasn't got many touches today. That's his first catch, as a matter of fact.
You know, quarterbacks do that. You know, these defensive linemen are mad enough, so you don't want to say anything that's going to get them any madder than they are. In fact, you want to do something that's going to take some of that madness away, like pat him on the helmet, pat him on the butt.
Can I help you up? May I help you?
Maybe hand him a little candy bar from Halloween that you have stuffed in your pants or something, you know?
Yeah, talk about...
talk nice about their mamas?
Yeah, talk about class, you know. I've been watching you on film. You've been really good.
2nd down and 4. Here's a toss. Ringer trying to get outside. They won't let. Whoops, he's still on his feet. Now he's coming back the other way. He gets a few blocks, and this could be something. Ringer at the 30. Got a block. Ringer down the sideline. 1 man to beat. 1 blocker with him. Ringer all the way to the 6-yard line.
Hello.
They had him within inches of being touched down on the left sideline, and he kept his balance, and 72 yards later, it's 1st and goal.
Watch that wall setup. Look how beautiful that wall sets up. You know who catches him? Crable. The linebacker, number 2, look at Crable. Is that a great play by a linebacker?
Quarter is over. Crable's out of gas. Michigan State revving their engines. They're going to have a 1st and goal to start the 4th quarter. Can they snap a 5-game losing streak in the 100th matchup with Michigan? Woo-hoo, we got a good 4th quarter coming up. Down 14-3 at halftime. Michigan State is 5 yards away from regaining the lead as we start the 4th quarter. Power I. Hoyer, play action, throws, wide open Davis, touchdown. Says if you're going to throw, do it on 1st down.
1st down, that's the best down to throw on, especially 1st and 5, 1st and goal on the 5-yard line.
Swetson in for the point after. One play into the 4th quarter. It is 17-14 Spartans. Hoyer's first touchdown pass in the last 13 quarters. It was the first play of this 4th quarter. And Davis on the other end, and the Spartans at home in front. The next 15 minutes going to be something here at Spartan Stadium. 17-14. Michigan State now in front and set to kick off. That's the only spot of sunshine left on Spartan Stadium as the sun starts to think about setting. Will it set on Michigan's season if they lose this one? The Rose Bowl hopes would be definitely dented. Molesky to kick. Fielded at the 5 by Carlos Brown. And Brown out to maybe the 26-yard line as we check in with John Saunders in New York. John.
And the Sports Center Minute powered by Vizio. Todd Reesing 14 yards to Briscoe. Kansas put 76 on the board against Nebraska for the win to remain unbeaten. Beanie Wells had 3 touchdown runs, 23 yards in this one. Ohio State, #1, wins going away 38-17. Brad.
All right, John, we'll see you at the end of the ball game, time permitting. Here we've got 1st down Michigan at the 27-yard line. Carlos Brown is the tailback right now. He gets the call, and he gets popped by Irvin Baldwin on the first snap. That's going to be no gain on the play. You know, we talked guys coming in to the second half, couldn't give up. You said 14-3 is not a big deal. You said keep running. Michigan State did both those.
Well, Michigan State scored on 2 of their first 3 possessions in the second half. It's amazing how quickly the momentum can change in a college football game.
Boy, don't you really love it, the fact that they go back to something that they do so very well, and they don't go away from it? I like that.
Michigan State's defense trying to prevent Michigan from regaining any momentum here. It's 2nd down and 11. Penny sets up, fires deep sideline, and broken up. That one could have almost been intercepted. How does Michigan regain the momentum? That's the question now.
Well, I think what's been open for Michigan are those long passes down the sideline. Yeah. And he's just been overthrowing some. He hit the one to get them away from their 1-yard line, but that's what's been there.
I think what they got to have, Ness, is something that he talked about in the opening. They got to get their Hart back.
Yeah.
With Hart on the bench, that hurts.
I don't know if Hart's coming back.
You got to wonder with Brown in there.
Yeah.
Last 7 possessions, an interception and a punt.
You may have seen the last of Hart.
At least this week. Brandon Miner's in there right now.
Yeah.
Here they come after Chad Henne. And he's hit it. He's really buried. And I hope he's not hurt because he took a big-time shot. Janal St. Deke is the guy that got him low, and Kendall Davis Clark was there too. And Chad got up okay. That's good news. Boy, that pocket just got exploded.
Yeah, Davis Clark, the corner's coming from the left side. Well, that's how you get hurt, right there in your knee. His bad knee was his right knee. He's got a brace on it, but he jumped up and ran off the field.
And now it's Mesko to punt. So Michigan can't regain any kind of momentum. It's Michigan State on the fly, Terry Love. And he gets buried. No gain on that return, but great field position for Michigan State. They got the ball and the lead when we come back.
This presentation of college football brought to you by Best Buy. For a complete home theater experience, get HD done right at Best Buy. Pontiac, the official performance machines of the NCAA. And Allstate, proud sponsors of college football. Are you in good hands?
How about a beautiful look in East Lansing? How's that for a first weekend in November look, huh?
That great.
And now Michigan State with a lead and the ball at their own 48-yard line. Give it off to Colcrick. And J.U. goes all the way to the 45-yard line. Following his big hogs up front, including Kenny Shane, number 71.
Boy, you know, you get these guys doing this thing now and running the clock out. What was that last drive, over about 7 minutes or so? And here they are at the 50-yard line. Now they're at their 45. They're going to control this clock.
144 yards rushing for Michigan State in the second half, and only 1 for Michigan.
18 runs, guys, in this half. Only 4 passes, but Hoyer's completed all 4 of them, including a touchdown. On the ground they stay. Looks like it should be a first down for Javon Ringer, who had that 72-yard electrifying reverse the field that got him back down to the 5-yard line. That's where they capitalize, and they'll move the sticks again. Time permitting. We mentioned John Craig will be along in New York. If we have time to bring you the Dell post-game report with all the scores and highlights of the day.
You know, isn't it amazing that in their first half they couldn't even sniff a run? They couldn't run the ball anywhere, and now they're just stuffing it down their throat.
Well, that's why when you're a running team, you don't go away from the run. I mean, they went in at halftime. They made some adjustments. This is what Michigan's doing. This is what we have to do. Let's go out and do it.
Colcrick straight up the gut. And he just carries the pile again down to the 36-yard line. Got a flag on the far side of the field, right at the line of scrimmage. And it's against Michigan State.
On this last play, watch Colcrick. Number 73 is Roland Martin, his tackle, his guard pulling. Watch him run over him. Here he comes in the hole. Watch this. Bang. Knocks him down. If you're not going to block, get out of my way.
First penalty this half against Michigan State after they had 7 in the first half. So it backs him up to the 46. First down and 15. Javon Ringer's been having contact lens problems 2 or 3 times today. He's working it over there again.
You want him in the ball game.
Throw to the wide side. Devin Thomas trying to make something happen. And he got it to about the 38-yard line. Let's check in with Matt Weiner in New York. Matt.
All right, Brad, here's a nominee for the Pontiac game-changing performance. Virginia got its 6th win this season by 6 points or less. Michael Simpson with 2:18 left punches it in. The extra point put UVA up by 1, but they left enough time for Sam Swank. Wide right, Virginia wins. Watch this season's best Pontiac game-changing performances at ESPN.com. Don't forget your search word, Brad, Pontiac.
I won't forget it. Wake, the defending ACC champ, losing by 1 to Virginia. Second down and 6. The handoff and the cutback. Colcrick carrying Michigan players with him to the 21-yard line.
Hey, Ness, can the offensive line be the game-changing thing? Because this offensive line has changed this game.
J.U. Colcrick, and right now it's J.U. can't stop me.
Look at this blocking by this offensive line. Oh, man.
Break 1 tackle.
That's pretty.
It was Graham that missed the tackle. If you're a linebacker and you got that whole responsibility, you've got to make that tackle in the hole.
First down, Michigan State at the Michigan 21. Here comes a blitz. Colcrick sticks his head down and keeps the legs moving. And there's a big scrum right there. He never did go down. Let's check in with Bonnie.
Watching Michigan State play reminded me of my conversation with Brian Hoyer when he bristled at the notion that fans think this Michigan State team is like the teams in recent years that started strong and failed down the stretch. He said, people have to remember we've been within inches every game. We've not lost a game by more than 7 points, and no matter what's happened, we have never had any quit in us. He said, with a new coach, we've had to develop an attitude and learn a new lesson from each loss. And for Hoyer personally, he needs to finish, and that's something he hasn't really had a chance to do much this year.
They'd like to finish this next 10 minutes with the football, and they'd be happy. And they keep it on the ground. A 3-yard gain. And we're under 10 minutes now. We've had some great shots from Spartan Stadium, and there's another one. Courtesy of the Outback Steakhouse Airship, the Bloomin' Onion 1. You can look for the Outback Steakhouse Airship at the Outback Bowl on ESPN on January 1st. There's a good look.
Yeah.
The Bloomin' Onion. And there's a look in to Spartan Stadium, where there's about 77,000 watching right now. The home team try to snap a 5-game losing skid against their hated rivals from Ann Arbor. 3rd down. Fumble. Hoyer picks it up. And now throws. Got a man. Thomas made the catch. At the 7, it's 1st and goal. Man, I'm going to say something. That might have been a fumble on purpose. They did it earlier this year.
They did earlier this year against Notre Dame. And he said, I take an acting class, and I guess I did that pretty good. Let's take a look.
Let's see if this is real or if this is an acting job. I think it's an acting job.
That's an acting job for sure. He did it once against Notre Dame. But Thomas didn't get down the field and wasn't getting open, so he just ran out and bought some time.
He didn't. The ball never hits the ground. He just put his arm down and he shakes the ball at the ground.
What he did was he ducked, so the corner and the defensive guys couldn't see him, thinking that he dropped the ball.
At the 6, 1st and goal, Michigan State looking for more. Colcrick on the cutback. Michigan waiting for him at about the 4-yard line. We're under 9 minutes. If you just joined us, Michigan State leading by 3. They've got the ball, and again, they did this in the Notre Dame game. And again, Brian Hoyer with his acting class. I don't know, his prof might want to give him an A. Puts his hand down, shakes it a little bit, stands up, and then had to buy himself some time. Thomas made a great catch, and it is 2nd down and goal.
And that was a 3rd down play. You know, he's gonna throw the ball the whole time. Man, that was beautiful.
Now they come with their power eye again at the 4. 2nd down. Colcrick. Behind his blocker, spinning his way down close to the 1. Short of the goal line. Following Jeff McPherson, one of those fullbacks. Third down and goal.
And the most important part about this whole drive is they're getting this thing in position to score a touchdown, and they're just eating up the clock.
It's going to be under 8 minutes, as you can see. And Michigan State taking its time in the huddle. Michigan faithful, hoping their defense can come up with the play of the day on their side of the ball, because this is it right here. 3rd down and goal. Colcrick. Touchdown! First smile on Mark D'Antonio's face in a couple of weeks. Colcrick, his 2nd score of the day. Swetson in for the point after. Michigan State by 10. 4th time Colcrick gets a 1st down or a touchdown on 3rd down. On the sideline, Michigan knows what they need now. Manningham bouncing up and down, so is Henne. Mike Hart's got both chin straps strapped. Michigan knows they've got work to do, and time is running out. 7:40 remaining. Michigan State leading by 10. And this place is rocking right now. Bolesky to kick. Brown and Rogers are back deep. And it's going to be fielded at the 2 by Carlos Brown. And he's at the 20, got to the 21, and that's it. It's a fired-up Michigan State team. Mike Hart coming out with the offense, but right now let's take a look at our Best Buy playbook, Bob.
I think one of the plays that really changed this game around is this little toss to the right side to Ringer. Now, he's going to come back, but look right here. You got all 10 Michigan white shirts on the right side of the hash mark. There's only one player left to the left, and that's Trent right there, number 14. Now, this is fine if Ringer has got enough speed and wind to go all the way over there and then come all the way back and run down the sideline. Crable finally catches him, but that is one of the plays that turned this game around.
Michigan now, all their stars are out there, even though they're walking wounded. Henne to throw on first down. Completes it out to Arrington. And Arrington tiptoes out of bounds with a first down at the 32-yard line. And Henne, oh boy. The right knee, and that might be the last play. Mallett doesn't have his helmet on yet, but he might be getting ready to. Well, this is gutsy seniors, Henne and Hart, who were questionable all week up until game time. And now Henne, after delivering that last pass, is going to have to go out.
Yeah, Mallett is in without warming up.
Henne has plenty of time to throw the ball. He throws it. Oh, and he trips. He trips over his own man.
Stepped on
Steve Schilling.
Schilling, 52.
Oh boy. Well, we'll wait and see. He's trying to shake it off on the sideline. Michigan fans are trying to shake off the fact they're down 10. And now the freshman is in a boiling pot he's never been in before. Ryan Mallett. He's played a lot this year, but not in this atmosphere. And down he goes. Mike Hart picks up the ball. Hart picks up the ball, and he's running out to the first down.
And it's a play. The whistle did not blow.
How many crazy things are we going to see?
So Mallett is standing on the sideline talking to the coach upstairs, just having a nice afternoon. And all of a sudden he says, "You're in."
And here's Mallett's first snap, and here comes the heat. The hit, the fumble, a one-hopper to Mike Hart. Basketball season truly is underway, Bob. You said it earlier.
This is almost as weird as that play that Ringer ran a little bit earlier.
Henne's back in. Trying to adjust the clock right now. It stopped at a 7:11.
If I were Mallett over there on the sideline, I think I'd grab a football and warm up a little bit.
Yeah, I would too. They're trying to reset the clock from 7:11 to 7:20. Right now, Michigan would like to stop into a 7-11 and get an instant touchdown in a big mug.
When you see Mallett on the sideline, did you see the coach reach up and take the baseball hat off him?
Yeah.
He wasn't even ready to come in.
Yeah.
That's a freshman for you. Mike Hart's got 110 yards rushing, so all 4 of his years, 2 times over 100, 2 times over 200. That might not be enough today. The deep out, got a man at the 45. It's Manningham, and it's a first down Michigan. Chad Henne kind of limping up to get his huddle around him after delivering another strike. Don't forget, it's getting close between Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson. The championship's on the line. Both drivers gunning for a first win ever in Texas. The shootout's on tomorrow. Coverage starts at 3 Eastern with NASCAR Countdown.
Yeah, you saw where Henne stepped on some. The shoulder was the problem coming into the ball game, but he's got a brace on his right knee. He missed 2 games earlier in the year with a knee injury.
He's back in the pocket again, and again throws a strike to the right, complete to the 40, and a flags fly in at the end of the play.
Boy, here's one of those things that are just so dumb, well, not dumb. How about stupid? That the man is out of bounds, and then you go whack him. That's Matthews that catches the ball, goes out of bounds, and then the defensive guy hits him as he's out of bounds.
That's the freshman.
Following the play, dead ball, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, 38. 15-yard penalty.
They call it on Davis Clark.
I thought it was 53.
Yeah, he was there also,
Davis
Bob, but
38.
Davis Clark is the guy that is going to come out. Watch this. Why are you even, I mean, how dumb can you be?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
you got the whole game turned around, and now you give them an opportunity to score.
So at the 25, Michigan with a first down, trailing by 10. 7 minutes and change remaining. Chad Henne battling a bad knee and a bad shoulder, and a Michigan State defense throwing. Got another one complete. This time Arrington, and it's inside the 15-yard line. First down, Wolverines. So we check in with Matt Weiner in New York.
All right, Brad, Dennis Dixon of the Oregon Ducks getting ready for a huge one in just a few minutes' time. Is number 5 Ducks will face the unbeaten and number 4 Arizona State Sun Devils. The game kicks off at 6:45 Eastern on ESPN Classic. Most of you will see it on ESPN at the conclusion of Michigan State.
And we've got 7 minutes remaining.
Henne has moved this team down the entire field by throwing out routes. Everything has been out. Strong arm to the outside. Makes a big difference when you have a fourth-year senior in there rather than a first-year freshman.
Timeout taken by Michigan. From the practice field to the real thing, you look in on Spartan Stadium, where Michigan's got a first down at the Spartan 14-yard line. Chad Henne throws to the end zone. His receiver got tangled up, Adrian Arrington.
Yeah.
Henne wants a holding call or a pass interference from the referee and doesn't get it.
You know, Bob, that every one of these passes thrown coming down this field are all to the outside. Every one of there wasn't one pass thrown in the middle of the field.
You get tripped up right there. Oh, that's
he got bumped.
He's
passed.
Yeah.
Tripped up.
Yeah, that's more than being tripped up. That's being
mauled.
pushed.
It's called mauled.
Michigan almost as much on this drive as their last 9. All they're thinking about is getting 14 more yards. Henne, pressure coming to the end zone. Touchdown!
What a great throw. What a great throw.
14-yard strike to Matthews, and Michigan's right back in it.
Boy, you talk about perfect. It had to get over the defensive back.
Well, he had to throw it early because they had a blitz on and he was about to get hit. So he just threw it to the back of the end zone where he knew the receiver would get to eventually. And he did.
All-important extra point by Lapata is up and good. 79 yards in less than a minute. Chad Henne playing with a bad wheel and a bad shoulder and a perfect throw, his 3rd of the day for a touchdown.
That ball is going right now. Throws it over Davis Clark. Watch this. He's about to get hit right there by 3 guys. Gives the ball a lot of air, throws it to the back of the end zone away from the green shirts. Well, you can't do it any better than that, and it's a good thing that Henne is in there because a freshman Mallet in that situation is not going to make that throw.
And Davis Clark, here's a guy that's standing there looking in the backfield instead of looking, you know, how you let a guy get behind you in the end zone is beyond me. He's looking in the backfield.
Remember, Chad Henne had to limp off on a bad knee, came back in 1 play later, and now throws his 83rd touchdown pass of his brilliant Michigan career. And he's got his team right back in the thick of this thing with 6:47 remaining. The kick will go to Devin Thomas at the 6. And Thomas tripped up as he got to about the 24-yard line. Michigan State takes over on offense thereafter. We check in with John Saunders in New York. John?
Well, guys, do you remember in the Sports Center in-game when gas cost 30 cents and a stamp was 4 cents? That's the last time Navy beat Notre Dame. 43 years of exasperation comes to an end.
Wow, Coach Johnson, congratulations. Navy finally ends the skid that goes all the way back to Roger Staubach, and the streak is over.
Oh, man, isn't that wonderful for Navy?
Sure is. The streak is 5 straight for Michigan. Michigan State's trying to change that here this afternoon. And the Michigan defense stands up Javon Ringer. No gain on that one. 6.5 minutes will tick under. If you just joined us, shame on you. You should have been here earlier. Our Pacific Life game summary. It's been a lot of fun from the get-go. Michigan in the second half have been shut down, but Henne has 3 touchdown passes to Manningham, to Butler. Michigan State, Kellen Davis in the corner for the touchdown from Brian Hoyer. And Kalkrick and Ringer have done the job on the ground in the second half for Michigan State. Can they do it in the waning minutes here to try to eat up clock and get a win? They're going to try. Kalkrick popped out of the backside. He's still got some guys draped around him as he got to the 32-yard line. It's going to be short of the first down, though, by about 2.
Yes, you know what's amazing about this? Michigan has an 8-man front. There are 8 guys up near the ball, and let's take a look at these offensive linemen. One-on-one blocking, straight up the field. They just went up the left side. Clifford, Shane, Masters the center. But Michigan was lined up with 8 men in the box.
And you know that's what State wants to do is run the football, take some time off the clock.
They've got 184 yards rushing in the second half. They want 2 more right here. Kalkrick on a toss. And he's not going to get to it.
They got to give it up.
Max Pollock helped out on the stop for Ron English's defense. It's 4th down.
Michigan is going to get the ball back. Michigan, who led by 14 points in the first half and then trailed by 10 in the second half, is going to get the ball back, down by 3.
And this is when you'd like Aaron Bates. He's been kind of hot and cold as a punter. He's been hot in dropping them inside the 10-yard line, but not necessarily so hot on length of punt. They'd like him to blast one here. It's going to be relatively short and bounces out at the 34-yard line. Michigan has 1 timeout left, and they've got 4:28 to work.
That's plenty of time to do anything you want or get anything you need.
Field goal to tie, a touchdown could win it.
The fact that they only have 1 timeout left doesn't come into play.
And on that last drive for Michigan, all the passes that Henne threw were all to the outside. There wasn't one pass thrown inside by the hash marks. Not one.
Minor will come out in the backfield with Matthews, Arrington, and Manningham, the wide receivers. Manningham in tight to Henne's right side. Chad throws to the out again, and Arrington made a diving catch. That one looked like it was going to be too far out in front of him, and he just laid out and got it.
Michigan State came with a 6-man blitz. Corner on the near side was coming also. Henne saw it, waited as long as he could, and then threw the completion.
Now they go back to the ground to Minor. Minor with a stiff arm, and he's dragged down short of the first down. About a yard shy, it appears. One of the officials did a good job of getting over there and getting a Michigan State player out from the Michigan bench. There was a little bit of shoving going on. Boy, that might be a pretty good spot right there. I thought he was well short. And this looks like it's going to be a first down now.
Well, I noticed that the clock was stopped, and I wondered why the clock was stopped.
Did he fumble the ball out of bounds?
Couldn't see it.
I got from here. It's on the other side of the field. But you're absolutely right. Now the clock's going again, Bob. So they stopped it for first down.
So first down. Henne to throw. Loads it. Fires deep. Manningham. Incompletes. And again, some bumping going on with Ross Weaver that time.
Manningham is a big play receiver, has caught a lot of long passes from Henne in his career. He runs right past. That's Wiley.
Manningham and Weaver are on the outside by the sideline.
Okay.
Fighting it out.
Okay.
Kellen Davis, the Michigan State tight end, is checked in on the defensive line again for the Spartans. On second down and 10. Henne. Deep out again. Completes. Short of the first down, though, by about a yard. It's Manningham again. I bet right now I wished he'd run that route about a yard deeper because it's third down and 1. 3:40 remaining in the ball game. 3:40 remaining in regulation is the way we should say it at this point, I guess.
Right.
Michigan State by 3.
You have to pick up this first down.
And Michigan is only 1 out of 11 on third down situations today. Brandon Minor in there. Mike Hart's not. Minor gets the call. Hit. Bounced off.
Flag.
Second effort got the first down, but again a flag is down.
And it's against Michigan.
This is going to be a huge call, and it's holding on the Wolverines.
Well, Carson Butler, number 85, is awfully upset, so it might be against him. He's the big tight end.
And that's a
10
call,
yards,
Paul. You
previous
got it.
spot. Repeat third down.
Now instead of first down at the 45 of Michigan State, goes all the way back to the 44-yard line.
Look at this.
That's a new dance step.
Oh, my goodness. And the head linesman, who is on the line of scrimmage on this side of the field, that's all he's looking at is the last guy on the line of scrimmage. He saw Butler. I mean, that was like a big hug.
Oh, and Michigan is taking its last time out. A third down and 11. They got to talk it over. They're out of timeouts. Michigan State by 3. The Big Ten standings right now look like this after Ohio State's win over Wisconsin and Penn State's win over Purdue.
But the key thing is right here. Those undefeated right there.
Michigan State trying to go to 2-4. That would make their season 6-4. They can hold on and win this. Michigan, of course, could lose this and then win out and still be in good shape in the Rose Bowl race.
Antonio tell us yesterday we need a win to get this program over the top.
Yep.
And this certainly would be that win.
You know, they started 4-0. They've had hot starts in the past couple of years and then sort of fallen apart. They were 4-0 earlier in the year. Then they lost 2 overtimes of their 4 losses. All their losses have been by 7 points or less. And with that, everybody said, you know, is the team going to break down? And Mark D'Antonio said, I didn't want this team to splinter, and we won't.
Yeah.
Let's see if they splinter against Michigan on this drive.
They've not quit in any of those losses. But some of those teams last year and in the past have.
Third down and 11. Chad Henne has time. Scans the field and throws complete. That thing was almost intercepted, and now it's Arrington, and it's a first down. Needed 11. They got 12.
I'll tell you what else they're doing, Michigan, their offensive line.
You're right.
They're double teaming St. Deke.
Yeah, the offensive line gave him enough time to get that done. There were no blitzes, 4-man rush. The offensive line gave him the time that he needed.
And they got out of bounds at the 44-yard line. So the clock stopped 3:17. As Bob said, despite the fact they're out of timeouts, it really doesn't matter because they've got so much time to work with.
Oh, look at the blitz.
Henne completes it over the middle this time. Butler, beg your pardon, Manningham, and he's got it inside the 30. 15 more yards.
There's nobody around Manningham because everybody was blitzing, and they had a missed assignment. Manningham could have run forever if he would run to this side of the field.
So that's Michigan at the Michigan State 29-yard line. And after all the noise minutes ago, you could hear a pin drop right now. Although they're trying to get fired up for their defense, the Spartan fans. Give it off to Minor. Minor breaks one tackle, and then Kellen Davis, playing defense, just hammered him.
That's what happens when you put an offensive guy on defense. He gets whacked all day long, and now he's got a chance to whack somebody else.
And he did at the end of the play. Tell on the faces of the Michigan State fans and their coach what this means to them. A lot of people say that this means a lot more to Michigan State in this 100th battle and a rivalry that dates back to 1898. But it means more to the Spartans than it does to the Wolverines because the Wolverines are more worried about Ohio State. They can't worry about them until they do business here. Henne, the throw. And incomplete. Manningham had slipped on his break. and never had a chance at it.
He was open. I'm telling you, they've thrown every single pass that they've thrown in these last 2 drives have been to the outside.
Lapata has not missed a field goal since taking over a few games ago from Gingell, and 42 is his career long. 3rd down and 12. They need some yardage just to give their kicker a shot, even if they don't get all of it. Again, a 3-man rush. Henne going to lob it to the corner. Michigan State. Touchdown, Manningham. It looked like a jump ball, but the defender just couldn't get back there.
The defensive back did not play the ball well, and Manningham went up and got it. It was Weaver, number 37, who was bound there one-on-one.
The 4th touchdown pass of the day for Chad Henne. And Manningham, falling down, makes the grab for the touchdown. Big extra point here. Try to make it a 4-point game, and Michigan State would need a touchdown, and now they do. Michigan 28. Michigan State 24. We'll give you a look from up high, Bob.
Well, they're just going to go down. He says, just get in the end zone, and I'll throw you a jump ball. It's Weaver against Manningham. They'll stop and go. Now they're both seeing it. Weaver sees it. He just doesn't make a play on it. The ball is thrown back away from it. Manningham does a nice job of kind of keeping some room so he can fade away to catch the ball.
Comes right at you and right at Mario Manningham. And the jump in the corner for the touchdown.
Manningham, how often has Manningham done that?
You know, Chad Henne has tied his career high with 4 touchdown passes in the 4 years that he's been a Michigan starter since the opening snap of his freshman season. He's got 14 touchdown passes just in this game, in this rivalry.
And he's 2nd all time in the Big Ten in career TD passes.
Yeah, to Drew Brees.
To my Purdue guy.
Yep. 84 now for Henne. Drew Brees had 90 at Purdue. Boy, what a gutsy performance by Henning, but this thing's not over yet. And the kick will go on the bounce to Devin Thomas. Thomas from the 13. Broke 1 tackle across the 30. Devin Thomas can't get away, or he might have gotten a big gainer at the 31-yard line. So the scene is set. 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining at Spartan Stadium, where Michigan State seemed like moments ago had a 10-point lead on the Wolverines, 24-14. But now Michigan has come back behind their senior quarterback, Chad Henne. They've got the advantage, 28-24. And if you missed it just moments ago, this was Chad Henne's 4th touchdown pass. Mario Manningham in the corner with a jump ball and a dandy of a catch. And now Michigan leads, trying to win their 6th straight in this series. But the Spartans have got the ball and time to work. 2:20 left with 2 timeouts. Hoyer comes up throwing, completes, and it's Deion Curry who dives out of bounds.
One of the things in talking to Mark D'Antonio says Hoyer has played well, but when given the end of the game, when we need him to move the team down the field, when we were behind, he needs to be able to pick that up. Says he needs to finish the game. Here he's got another opportunity.
He's 7 for 7 this half, but now the pressure will mount from the gun. Here comes a blitz. Hoyer throws it complete again. 1st down, and it's Curry again. They'll stop the clock to move the chains. Remember, they know what they need. This isn't one of those things where you go, let's go down and get a field goal and we'll go play some more. They need a touchdown.
Well, and they still have 2 timeouts, so they're really in great position.
They are.
But the problem is, as you just said, they don't need a field goal.
Again, Michigan shows pressure and brings it from the corner. And it's complete again, and Hoyer standing in against some pressure right now. Delivers to Deion Curry for the 3rd time just in this drive.
You know what? When I see this right now, what I think of is a guy I talked to a long time ago for a long time, Brett Favre. He says when you get into a 2-minute drill, the only thing you do is move the chains. Just get 1st downs. Don't look for the big touchdown. Just get yourself in a position to make the touchdown.
And though the clock doesn't stop at a 2-minute warning in college, that's what we've got left. Hoyer, quick throw that time to midfield to Kellen Davis, his big tight end.
What were you doing talking to quarterbacks?
Well, we never talked football, really. We talked hunting and everything else that he did.
Michigan State's going to take a timeout with 1:52 remaining. Remember, the last time Michigan State was able to win in this series was 6 years ago, back in 2001. And Jeff Smoker on the run. Remember this? Got down, then got his troops together. 13 seconds to go at that point. He said, come on, guys, come on, guys, come on, guys. Watch the clock in the corner. Smoker, this is a very controversial ending here at Spartan Stadium. Got the snap and got the ball down with 1 tick left. And then with that 1 tick, he knew what to do with it. Dropped back, scrambled around, and then this is what happened on the last play of the ball game. Smoker flushed out of the pocket, looks back, says, where's TJ Duckett? Touchdown. And that's the last time Michigan State has won in this series. Now can they do it again? Can they get some of that magic from 6 years back? They're at midfield, trailing by 4.
Get the first down first.
Hoyer across the middle, man wide open. All the way down to the 33-yard line, Devin Thomas.
A good tackle there.
17-yard pickup.
They're in man coverage, little crossing route. That's a good play. It's a good play to call in that situation. It's good against man, good against zone.
Devin Thomas with a 17-yard pickup. Look out. And Hoyer had to just go down at the 42-yard line.
They're mixing, the defenses are mixing it up really nice.
This is Crable coming in, number 2 from the outside, right on the left-hand side of your screen. They just don't, nobody even touches him.
Well, he blocked the most dangerous. The offensive tackle slid in and blocked the guy inside.
And Crable's so big, sometimes defensive end, sometimes outside linebacker at 6'5" and 245.
So Michigan State now takes their last time out.
It all comes down to 94 seconds in the 100th matchup between these two teams. 64 miles separates their campuses, and 134 is going to separate somebody from winning and losing. In this drive, Brian Hoyer perfect, but he had to take the sack on the heavy pressure, and that's second down and a mile. Back at the 42-yard line, second down and 18. Well, Devin Thomas on that crossing route, he's got 7 catches for 65 yards. I talked to Plaxico Burris earlier, one of the 1,000-yard receivers, and Devin's closing in on that.
I like that same route.
The middle's open.
Hoyer would like to think so. There it is, but the ball is incomplete. Deion Curry.
Now have somebody going shallow across the field on every play.
Now remember, it's third down and 18, but they don't need all 18 here because this is two play time. So they need some of it, and then they need some more.
Mark's been there before. He said 4 of the last 5 weeks we've lost games, and we've been in the fourth quarter. Is this going to be another one?
Boy. Losses by 3, 7, and 7 in overtime, and 7 in double overtime, and now down by 4. Hoyer, heavy pressure, throws wide side, broken up by Morgan Trent. And now there's one chance left for the Spartans.
Well, that ball was just a little bit late getting there. Trent just times this thing perfectly. Watch Morgan Trent on the top side. Boom, he waits, he reads, he sees the move, and now he's in position to make the interception. That time, Dell, number 6, saved the interception.
Lloyd Carr doesn't need the headset anymore. 4th down and 18. They need to get down to the 24-yard line of Michigan. Here is your ball game.
What is it? 25-second clock. Here we go.
Brian Hoyer needs one more big-time throw. In the gun.
They're going to blitz.
Hoyer, deep middle, incomplete. And Michigan will take over. Dramatic comeback by the Wolverines on the road, led by Chad Henne. And now it looks like it's going to be 6 straight. And the 100th matchup looks like the Paul Bunyan Trophy is going back to Ann Arbor. It made the trip to the locker room here, and it looks like it'll find its way back to the University of Michigan.
I kind of like the defensive recall. You know, Grease, they got down and 4th down and a lot, and they didn't sit back there and wait. Exactly. They sent 6 people.
Got to hand it to Ron English.
Yes.
Blitzen, I'm sure Lloyd Carr had to hand it, tell him, it's been a tough year for Lloyd Carr. First 2 losses, everybody was hollering for his head, but he's come back now with 8 straight wins. And if they win their next 2, they can win the Big Ten. They'll go to the Rose Bowl. And if they win the last game, which is Ohio State, they'll get that monkey off his back.
Here's the last play. You saw Davis bumping in.
Threw it way inside. Hoyer was expecting him to get into the inside much quicker because there was a lot of open ground inside. That's where he was throwing the ball.
Tells the whole story, doesn't it? Just look around the stadium at the Spartan fans' faces. And again, they're going to suffer the heartbreak of the loss to Michigan and the heartbreak of their 5th loss of the year by 7 points or less. And, you know, you get up tomorrow morning in the paper, and what it might look like in the Lansing State Journal is, yep, one more time, it's hail to those guys. Manningham's catch in the corner might be the snapshot you see. As the Michigan players come out on the field, they'll have a quick prayer and celebration, I guess. They're all out there, and the Michigan State guys can only head to the locker room knowing that they had a chance. They had them by 10, and they couldn't hold on. So Michigan wins it with a comeback led by Chad Henne. And our Chevrolet players of the game today, I don't think there was any doubt when you looked at Michigan, it was going to be Chad Henne, tying a career high with 4 touchdown passes, playing on a bad leg. Ringer and Kalkrick together, 212 yards and a couple of touchdowns. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. 14 unanswered Michigan points over the final 6 minutes and 47 seconds. And Lloyd Carr's Wolverines have now won 8 straight. For Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, and Bonnie Bernstein, Brad Nessler saying so long from East Lansing. Let's go to New York.
Brad, thanks a lot. 8 straight for Michigan. Pretty impressive, but how about 43 straight? That's what Notre Dame had done against Navy until today. Navy wins in triple overtime, stopping Notre Dame going for a 2-point conversion. Don't forget, coming up at 8 o'clock Eastern time, the number 2 team in the nation, Boston College, goes up against Florida State. Matt Ryan and his Heisman hopes on the line as well. We'll see you then.
Coming up on Michigan Replay, the Wolverines go into hostile Spartan Stadium and come away with a big victory. We'll have the highlights. How about a game of chess? We'll find out all about it from Michigan safety Jamar Adams. And we'll look ahead as another road test looms. We'll scout Wisconsin. All that and more coming up next. Michigan Replay with Lloyd Carr is brought to you in part by Abso Pure Water, delivering quality bottled water since 1908. By Sirius Satellite Radio. By the University of Michigan Alumni Association, uniting the leaders in best. www.umalumni.com. By State Farm, providing insurance and financial services. By AT&T, for a behind-the-scenes look at sports, visit attblueroom.com/sports. And by Powered by Pontiac, the official performance machines of the NCAA.
It's what we play for, baby. Rivalry.
The jubilation of a Michigan locker room following a victory over Michigan State in a hard-fought 28-24 win in East Lansing. Coach Lloyd Carr, down 10 with 7 minutes to go, and you brought it home. Wow.
Well, it was an unbelievable game, a memorable game. amongst a lot of memorable Michigan State games.
No question about it. And you got great performances from a couple of kids, in Chad Henne and, well, Mario Manningham and Mike Hart. But Henne and Hart coming in not 100%. Those kids are amazing.
Well, they are amazing, Jim. And, you know, they've done it for 4 years. They came in together. And certainly for our team, with the injuries they've had, and to come back and both of them play like they did, it's a tribute to the kind of people they are.
Well, and the game was a story of two halves, really. In the first half, your defense played extremely well. This is their first possession, and it's the only time in the first half that Michigan State was really moving the ball.
Well, they hit their big tight end there, a great target.
Boy, he's a good player.
He's well covered. Brandon Harrison had him well covered, but he came up with a play. And then we blitz, and we hit the quarterback, but Hoyer makes a nice throw to Thomas. And we did a great job on Devin Thomas in terms of preventing big plays, Jim. And here, Brandon Engelman makes a great play on third down to force a field goal attempt.
And they do get the field goal, so it's a 3-0 game. At this point, that stadium was rocking. And then after an exchange of punts, you get the ball back in the first quarter and you start to move.
Well, we give the ball to Mike Hart here. No, that's the next play.
That's the next play.
Yeah, Chad hits Carson Butler here for a first down, and a well-executed
this
play.
Is special.
Yeah, here's a draw play, and Mike makes a linebacker miss in the backfield, and then watch the effort here. He just refuses to go down. He brings some energy and excitement to the game.
Sure does. Then you go to Manningham for the score.
Well, a great throw here, and Mario got behind the receiver. Chad threw the ball outside, and Mario came up with a play that gives us the lead.
And that's a 7-3 lead. And then you do a great job on Ringer in this swing pass here.
Well, Ringer has had they've had a lot of success with that play in the course of the year, and Chris Graham makes a wonderful play. And here we get great pressure, and Jamar Adams comes up with a big interception, and we get great field position going inside the 50-yard line of Michigan State.
And then it's that man Mike Hart again.
Well, this is just a great run. The same thing. He's apparently stopped there, and he just keeps running. Mark Mondros done a great job for us at fullback there, makes a good block, and we're running behind Jake Long, and a great play for us.
Then Chad Henne hits Carson Butler, and just like that, you got a 14-3 lead as you go through the second quarter. And nothing much happened after that. The defense, though, continued to play well.
Well, our defense here is, this kid, Terrence Taylor and Brandon Graham, they're having a lot of fun at this stage in the game. And things changed, though, in the third quarter.
It sure did. The one thing I thought was important in the first half, they had field position a couple of times inside your 50. They were working in a short field, and that defense was able to hold Michigan State without points. In the whole scheme of the game, those were great big stops, weren't they?
Well, Jim, the biggest thing you've got to do to Michigan State offensively is stop the running game, and we did a great job against the run in the first half.
Second half was a different story, and we'll be back and take a look at those second half highlights. But first we hear from Jake Long, who said, the Spartans brought the real deal in East Lansing.
I got to give it to Michigan State. They had a great D-line. They brought a lot of stunts, and they're bringing it all game. And we knew if we could just protect up front, get Chad time, the receivers are going to get open, and we just gave it all we got our last two drives and gave them a lot of time, and got those touchdowns.
Michigan Replay and Alro Steel take you inside the locker room.
It was rough. Those two backs, they average, certain amounts each game. So you're going to get a lot from them. I knew they was going to come back second half and do a lot of power. They was going to come back to a lot of plays, and they hit big plays on us. But, you just got to believe. You got to believe and have faith that the offense is going to go out there and do their part. We're going to do our part. And that's what we did on both sides. We got the ball right back to them, and they showed up. So I'm still trying to breathe from it. It was amazing. And guys, just play hard.
Well, the Wolverines had a 14-3 lead at halftime, but in the second half, it sure changed. And Lloyd, Michigan State came out, and it looked like they said, well, we're just going to do what we do. And they started to pound the football, and they controlled the line of scrimmage.
Well, Jim, we took the opening kickoff, couldn't do anything with it, gave it to them, and we had good field position. But here, they run the isolation play, and this Kulkrick, you've got to hit him low, and he's a powerful guy. And they had some real success here on the play action pass, hitting Davis a big tight end again. And back here, back to Kulkrick again. Good running lane. Brandon Engelman makes a good tackle. But they are moving the ball on us, and they moved the ball on us throughout this quarter.
They sure did. And here's Kulkrick going in, which gives them a 14-10 deficit. And at that point, you're thinking, okay, if Michigan's offense can come back and answer, it's good. But you only go on a 5-play possession, and then they start to play. And this is one of the most amazing plays of the game.
Well, it really is. We've got them ringer stopped here for no gain or maybe a loss. And the guy that had him tackled on the other side, Sean Crable, makes one of the great plays. Effort-wise, pursuit-wise, that I can remember.
He makes the tackle, but it doesn't stop Michigan State from scoring. Still a great effort, but the Spartans score to make it a 17-14 game, and at this point, it's getting away from you, and it continues to get away.
But Jim, in the third quarter, Michigan State had the ball over 9 minutes, and this is why. They're cutting the ball back against our defense, and here it was a trick play that Michigan State had run earlier in the year. Threw the tight end Davis a touchdown off of it. We had it covered, but he hits the flanker, and then they go into the end zone with Kulkrick and now take the lead, and the crowd is raucous.
Raucous indeed, but now you get the next possession, and I want you to know, Chad Henne starts to go to work, and you're working with the clock.
Well, the one thing we did a tremendous job here, Steve Schilling, our young right tackle, stepped on Chad's foot here, and Ryan Mallett goes into the game. They hit him with a free blitzer off the backside, and who but Mike Hart picks the ball up and runs for a first down.
That was fortuitous, but then Chad comes back and just starts to make some great throws.
Well, we do a great job here with pass protection. Chad had time here, and he makes some plays. Our receivers here, a great throw and a good route by Greg Matthews, our young sophomore receiver who's quietly having a wonderful year.
You're back in at 24-21. Big third down with their next possession.
Sean Crable makes an outstanding play to turn. That ball was designed to go outside, and Crable makes a great play, turns it back inside, and we get the ball back.
And this is with 3:21 to go. Great protection. That's a 3rd and 11 call, and you get the first down out of it.
Well, Jim, we're going to be facing a 4th down there where we're going to have to go for it, but instead Chad found Arrington, and here he finds Mario, who gets up the field for good yardage, and we're now knocking on the door.
And here you are, 3rd and 12, and you go for the whole thing.
Well, 3 straight times on 3rd down, we find a way to protect and make a play, and wonderful catch by Mario and a great throw, and now we got to stop them one more time.
28-24. Now they come back and they hit Thomas here over the middle. One time they get out of there.
Well, we make a mistake there, and they got great field position and plenty of time with timeouts left.
This is a huge play, a sack, and this takes their last timeout away.
Well, Ron English made a great call there with a zone blitz, and Obieze and Crable get to the quarterback. Now they got 2nd and long, and Morgan Trent makes a sensational play here, knocking down a ball that's going to give them a much shorter 4th down to go.
And then this is 4th down, and again, you run a blitz at them, force them to throw a little bit tough, you had it covered, and that's basically the ball game.
Well, we had Brandon Harrison in perfect position there. They had a good route called. It's one of those routes, if you hesitate, it's going to be wide open, and Brandon Harrison was there, thankfully.
Have you ever been in one like that where
the second half goes totally against you, then all of a sudden, you know, you come back late?
Well, several years here in Michigan Stadium, we were down 17.
Well, I was going to say, your first game, you were down 17, and you came back in the fourth
Well, at
quarter.
Virginia, yeah, but Jim's 2 or 3 years ago in Braylon Edwards, we were down 17 with 6 minutes to go and found a way to win that game. And but we were really struggling offensively here throughout the third quarter and the first half of the fourth. And defensively, we were on our heels. They ran the ball right at us and maintained possession, and we couldn't do anything offensively.
In that last 7 minutes, how'd you turn that around? And what,
well,
was it the kids just?
Oh, yeah. I think, you know, one thing, our coaches kept their poise. Mike DeBoard made some great calls, as did Ron English. But we just tried to tell our guys, look, there's plenty of time, but we can't waste any more time. And, of course, then we put a drive together offensively. We hit Matthews for a touchdown, and that changed the momentum back to us. And our defense made 2 great stops there, one to get us the ball back, and then, you know, of course, to end the game. But no doubt it was a great win for this team.
You can say that again. It was a great win for Michigan over a very tough Michigan State team. When we come back, we'll take a look and meet Jamar Adams. But first, we hear from Chad Henne. Said in the final moments, there was no panic on Michigan's sideline.
Guys were buckling down. There was no just hope in there. So, I mean, everybody wanted to win. We knew we could win, pull it out, and we definitely had a lot of time left. And guys stepped up and performed.
Now, the Pontiac Performance Play of the Game.
Henne in the gun, has the snap, has some time, looking right, airing it out for Manningham in the end zone. He's got it! Touchdown, Michigan! Mario Manningham is super once again, and the Wolverines have the lead 27-24 with under 2.5 minutes to play.
Michigan football players come from all over to Ann Arbor. Starting safety Jamar Adams made his way to Michigan from Tobacco Road in Charlotte, North Carolina. And for Jamar, it was a Wolverine Heisman winner who got his attention when he was in middle school.
I seen Charles Wilson return the punt for the touchdown. And in middle school, the next year in middle school, I was like, I'm wearing number 2. I got to have this kind of a helmet. It looked like Charles. I got to wear my wristbands like Charles. You know, so they had terrific players in the past that I had seen. Tim Biakabatuka, who got drafted to the Panthers. And so they had this tradition of great players. And then when it was my time to come, they had Ernest Shazar, Marlon Jackson, Braylon Edwards. And I felt as though one day if I worked hard enough, I could possibly be at these guys' level. And, you know, I thought they had everything here academically and athletically that gave me the best opportunity to do that.
Football isn't Jamar's only interest, though. He's been in the band, then a jazz band, and he was also on the state champion chess team. Doesn't sound like chess and football go together, but you'd be wrong. According to Jamar, he's still playing chess on Saturdays in the big house.
It's like this strategy game. You know, I'm playing against another guy's mind. And we're trying to use these pieces to mentally beat each other. And it's like in a football game. I'm trying to play, you know, the defensive coordinator is trying to play with the offensive coordinator. The quarterback is trying to play with the safety. The safety is trying to play with the quarterback. So, you know, you're trying to disguise one thing and bring the pressure another way. Just like you do in the football and chess, I try to do the same thing. I'll put my bishop one way to make it seem like I'm trying to create a checkmate this way, but I'm really trying to backdoor with the queen or my knight or my rook. The same game, you know, it's the same deal. It's just, you know, a different type of, you know, setup to it.
Of late, Adams and his secondary mates have been winning the chess game. They may be the most improved part of the team, and Jamar says there's a simple reason for it.
We just embrace the role, understanding the game always going to be on us, regardless of what happens. The D-line mess up, the linebackers mess up, we got to get the ball down. It's a running game. And if the D-line and linebackers don't get pressure in the passing game, we're going to have to be the ones that's covering all the time. So once you embrace that role, once you know it's always going to be on you, you start to you take joy in that. And then you start to realize, hey, if I make a mistake, it's all right. We got the next play to deal with. And I think Coach Bedford does a great job of just letting us feel free in the sense of knowing that it's going to be on us. Take pride in that, embrace it, love it, and because that's what you are. You're a defensive back here at the University of Michigan.
Well, Jamar embraced it against Michigan State. And on Saturday, he had like 14 tackles and an interception.
14 tackles and an interception. And Jim, the beautiful thing now is we'll have a timeout and call the defense together. And, you know, it's amazing how many times Jamar's saying something in there that makes a lot of sense to his teammates. You know, he's developed into a great leader, and he's such a guy of great character.
Well, don't play chess with him because he'll probably beat you.
Yes,
no
he
comment
would.
on that.
I'll have to admit that.
When we come back, we'll look ahead to next week's game against the Wisconsin Badgers. But first, we hear from Mike Hart, who says it doesn't get any easier next week.
Big game next week, and we know that. You know, they gave us a great warm-up this week, though, I'll tell you that. So we'll be ready next week. We got to go in, have a good week of practice, and get ready to go.
Michigan Replay and Alro Steel take you inside the locker room.
So that's a crazy place to play. You know what I mean? We're going to be ready. We got to have a good week, you know, enjoy this tonight. And then and come Monday, you know, just start looking towards Wisconsin.
Start looking towards Wisconsin. And Camp Randall Stadium, as Morgan Trent said, is a crazy place to play. I've always thought that's weird that when they get going at the end of the game, that press box starts rocking.
It starts rocking.
It's strange.
I've been there and in that press box. I first came to Michigan, even that was before Barry took over at Wisconsin, and they got it rocking and rolling, and outstanding football program.
You bet it is, and their big physical, hard-nosed team. Brett Phelan was their head coach. Lost to Ohio State on Saturday, but this was a team that going into the season was expected to be a team that fought for the championship.
Well, Jim, they played without P.J. Hill, who's one of the best backs in the country, and certainly it was a great ball game. I haven't had a chance to look at the tape, but just hearing the reviews on the radio coming home, they played awfully well down there. And this guy Beckham is without question one of the 2 or 3 best tight ends in the country.
And their defense is nothing to shake a stick at. I mean, they've got some guys that can run. They've got players that can make plays, linebackers that can move around. I mean, they're a test. And at Madison, they're tougher.
Well, you got an old Michigan player.
Old Mike Hankwitz.
Mike Hankwitz coordinating that defense. They've always played great defense since Barry went there. And Brett, of course, was defensive coordinator before taking over. So they're a tough, physical, well-coached, disciplined team.
And this was an interesting game against Michigan State. We were talking during a break that this Michigan State game gets you ready for the next weeks because Wisconsin's going to give you that same physical, pounding kind of a football offensively.
Well, Jim, you know, we talked about it before the season started. We had so many spread teams, and all of a sudden we knew coming into November, now we're going to get a different kind of offensive football. We're going to get hard ball, line up, and here we are, here we come, stop us. And that's what we're going to get again this week.
Does it concern you a little bit that Michigan State was able to pound that in that second quarter, or third quarter?
I think it's, you know, it is something that we should benefit from. And certainly we'll have to look at the film. We've got some things that we've got to do better. That is absolutely certain.
And the other thing, and I got to ask you this again, you're going to get tired
again.
Of it. Again, you're going to get tired of me. But obviously, you know, Mike Hart's health. He didn't play a lot in the second half against Michigan State. Chad Henne, those are 2 guys that people are concerned about.
Well, I think, Jim, you know, the thing that you've got to look at in this game, Mike tweaked that ankle again, but when he started the game, he looked pretty.
He looked
pretty
Mike Hartish.
Yes, he did, and so I think we'll have to go slow with him this week, but. I don't think you're going to keep Mike Hart out of this one.
And Chad, same thing?
Absolutely. Finished the game, didn't he? He was something else, too.
He was something. He's been something else all year
has.
long. Well, that's a great wrap-up of a Michigan State game where the Wolverines came out on top 28-24. Don't miss us next week because it's another beauty. Michigan versus Wisconsin right here, same time, same place on Michigan Replay.
Michigan Replay has been brought to you in part by Mountain Dew. Do something different. Do the Dew. By Pontiac, official performance machines of the NCAA. By the University of Michigan Health System, working together. That's the Michigan difference. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you? By Big Boy Restaurants. Big Boy, it's a Michigan thing. And by TCF Bank. For all your banking needs, all you need is a little TCF.